out.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, don't unfriend me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's new.
What is going on? Don't Unfriend Me Nation. I am so sorry that we are late. That doesn't happen very often. When it does, it's always Leroy's fault.
Always
Leroy's fault. First of all, I want to do a sound check. Can everyone hear the music? Can everyone hear me? Need to know how that sounds. I'm not seeing anything in chat, which is very, very strange. That's weird.
I have quite a few people in chat. I have Cheryl and Judy St. Vincent, Donald L. Dowland, Chavasto, Thomas Austin. They're all in chat.
There it is. I just had to refresh. Cool. Okay, I see it. Now, I want to share something. People have been upset about the pin. And they're saying, hey, why are you pinning over chat? This is simple. You have old man mode on in your iPhone. You've magnified your screen. If you go ahead and go into your iPhone settings or your phone settings and lower your magnification to people with normal eyes, you will be able to see without the pin comment bothering you. Does everyone understand that? Now, the reason why we want to have the pin comment on is so people know how to call in. If it's truly bothering you, let me know and we'll adjust it. Otherwise, we need to embrace it and just give peace a chance. Really is what it comes down to. So, Leroy, I'm going to test one thing and let's see if you can see this because I've got some new toys. So, if I want to go ahead and I want to do this is the follower goal. Right now, we're sitting at 122,819, I think is what it says if my eyes are correct. If I hit new goal, if I hit share stream, hold on.
Okay.
Tell me if this pops up. It's running a little. Okay. It says my goal prompt has been sent. Can you see that? Did anyone get a pop-up on your phone or anything? It might take a second. And let me know.
I did not, but I think I know why. And I'll have to, we may have to play with this later at some point when we're not actually live. Because I think I know what's happening.
Okay. I'm going to look, and maybe someone can tell me real quick.
Oh, wait. It did just pop up.
What does it say?
Help me get to 100. It says, help me get to 130,000 followers, folks. We can do that.
That's cool. And we can also do a poll, right? So if I wanted to go in here and I want to make a poll, and this is going to be on Facebook. These are the little things we could do. Last time we got up to like 190 people, which was nice to see. I'm trying to find the poll. Here it is. So if I wanted to ask a question, did Republicans betray the party by passing the omnibus bill? Loaded question. Yes. Yes.
And
No.
yes.
No. And damn Skippy. All right. So we're going to save. And I'm going to create the poll. Let me know. Did y'all get that? Got to publish it. Okay, hold on. Activate poll. I'm learning these things, but this is great. This is cool. This is the stuff I've been looking for.
Activate.
This might take a
form
second.
of a poll. Yeah,
that's right.
It did come up.
It did come up. Right now we have 2 votes for yes. Damn Skippy has not been chosen, which it's here for me. I can vote. Damn Skippy. I'm saying damn Skippy. This is great. If only I would have stars. Now, can you access this at all, Leroy?
See, that's the thing. It's on. What I'm looking at right now is my phone. I actually am dialed in on my PC behind me.
Got it. Right. We're going to have to get you an iPad or something. But either way, you can do this too. And this is fun. 12 votes so far. We can just keep to 15. 28, 37 votes. Wow. This will also tell if our count's correct on Facebook. All right. So to the other channels that are watching, YouTube, Twitter, Rumble. Hello, everybody. I can see your chat over here. I can't see Rumble, but everybody else I'll be able to see at Twitter if you want to say something. And then Facebook is rocking and rolling. Okay, cool. All right. So we had a chance to see Susie Watkins. Thanks for subscribing to the site. If you have not followed yet, now is the time to do. Before we get started, I wanted to let everybody know the FJB Trader Joe coffee. You buy 3 bags on don'tunfriendme.com. 3 bags and you get this for free. It's a pound bag. $19.84 is how much the coffee is for 1 pound. That's so much better than that other black bag
stellar
veteran
deal.
Coffee company. What's that?
That's a stellar deal. That's a steal.
This is steal. You get 4 pounds of coffee for the price of 3. That's not bad. This is a commemorative bag. It's the FJB. It's got China on it. It's got socialism, Maoist. It's got the escaping Hanoi and Vietnam. It's all right there for you. That is over on don'tunfriendme.com, Minuteman Coffee. And then Minuteman Coffee, last but not least, Percival flags. They are good buddies of mine, percivalflags.com, percivalflag.com. You can get now 10% off the site and free shipping. There's just no reason not to do it. You were getting 5, now you're getting 10% off and free shipping. Go on over to percivalflag.com, get yourself a wooden flag, and tell them Matt sent you. All right, so now that we've done that, I know it's also going to be really cold out there. Everybody stay warm. This is dangerous, okay? We're talking, it's going to be 7 degrees in Virginia. That doesn't happen in Virginia. It's going to be cold, and that means north is probably going to get down into the -10, -15s, -20s. Folks, stay safe. It's going to be dangerous. Go shopping. Make sure you go ahead and get all that plethora of food and candles that are not on the shelves right now because of Joe Biden's economy. I would recommend if you have Amazon, go and buy candles for sure. Give yourself some space. Yep. Make sure gas tank in the vehicle's full. Get some plastic wrap for your plants.
I heard on the news today that it takes as little as a half an inch of ice to accumulate on a power line before it could potentially knock out power. So make sure you have batteries and flashlights.
Correct. And batteries are also important for your physical life too. Your love life. Make sure you have those. You don't want to lose those.
D's. Double D's.
Double D's. All right, Leroy. I'm perplexed. The vote is in officially. Only one person said no. Who's that one person? That's got to be Chav. Did Republicans betray the party by passing the omnibus bill? 23 people said yes. 18 people said damn Skippy. So it's interesting. All right, Leroy, what are we talking about? We've got a couple things. We've got the omnibus bill, which we need to take people off the cliff and let them know why it's not that scary. It's not cool. It's not good. It's bad, but it's not going to destroy America. Okay, so you're going to explain that, right?
Sure.
And then Vladimir Zelensky was in the Ukraine.
In the White House.
I'm sorry, my English is no good. We will win. Did you see the video? Dude, I'm like, come on, broken English. So you're a world leader. Why, dude, get out of the greens, dude. You're in the United States. Why are you wearing the greens? Get a suit on. Act like you run a country. Seriously, dude, we just gave you freaking 70 some odd billion dollars. You think you can afford a suit? It
was 480 is what this new bill.
47 billion, yeah, additional. It's going to be 130 billion by the time the dust clears until they bump it again. That's what 130 billion dollars. Dude, the 10 months in Ukraine is more expensive than 18 months in Afghanistan. You want to explain that to me? How, Leroy?
I can't.
How?
I can't.
How?
Well, first of all, they're sending nothing but top-notch equipment that way, right? And we haven't sent any troops, so thank God for that. But they are just sending just boatloads of munitions, a Patriot battery system.
Yep.
They're sending all sorts of drones and all of this high-end tech that is intended to make it easier for Ukraine to fend off Russia, which is effectively what turns this into a proxy war between United States equipment, even though it's in Ukraine, and Russian logistics. That's what it's about.
Yeah, but you're telling, okay, so that's cute. But you're telling me, all in all, that it costs more for humanitarian aid and weapon systems than it does for forward operating bases, food, power, armament, supply back and forth, resupply, bombs, bullets, helos. Dude, you're kidding me. How in the hell did Afghanistan get funded for 18 months for less than what we've done in Ukraine so far?
Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder about where all of this money is going.
I want some receipts. I want some receipts. And I think, listen, I don't care about Hunter Biden. I don't care about Trump's tax returns. I don't care about January 6th. You know what I want? I want the U.S. government to finally, for once in their effing lives, to do something right and investigate where this money is going. That's what I want. Tell us real quick, what are your thoughts in regards to, and I'm going to do a new poll because I'm going to do a new poll. I would like to know what you think in regards to Zelensky. Actually, tell us why the omnibus bill is not going to necessarily destroy America like everyone's thinking.
Well, in terms of like what the United States rakes in terms of GDP, you got to remember, folks, it's close to $25 trillion. And that's just from the businesses and the money that exchanges hands naturally throughout the course of any given day. And so when we start thinking about, all right, well, what did we just spend? What was it? 50, just call it 50 billion, right? Really, that's not that much. It's a lot. Don't get me wrong. And it's going to sting, but it's certainly not going to bring down the country. We're not looking at the end of days, folks. It's just money that was spent irresponsibly. Now, I don't want to say irresponsibly, but for lack of a better term, right? I mean, could they have been, to Matt's point, could they have been a little bit leaner with this? Could they have said, you know what, before we send out all of this green, can we get an idea of what we're spending it on first? They could have done that, but it's not going to cripple the United States. That's not a thing.
Fair enough. So when we look at this and we look at Zelensky coming to the United States, help me understand what your opinion is. By the way, I'm activating a new poll, and it is the government should investigate Hunter, January 6th, spending in Ukraine, or Hillary Rodham Clinton, because we should again. Man, I want to choose more than one. I want to choose more than one, but I don't know if I can.
It's like Mary F. Kill on for these polls.
I'm gonna do. I think the pop. I went ahead and voted. So here's the question. You've got Zelensky, who's overseas. He was supposedly hiding in Russia. He's done a cover shoot for GQ and like Vanity Fair.
Right.
Has professional photographers taking shots of him. Do you consider this guy to be a clown? I've never asked you this. Or is he really a prolific leader who is doing it right, who has emerged into the role and is doing a good job for his country? Now, you know what I thought? I thought Ukraine could hold out for a fairly long time with U.S. proxy support, and that wound up being true. Here's the photo. Doing a photo shoot. His wife's good looking. It's very nice. He's in the greens again. The guy hasn't changed his outfit. So if he has time for photo shoots, if he has time for all this stuff, next is a Netflix movie, I guess. What are your thoughts on this, and how do you feel about Zelensky personally as you take a look at this from afar?
You know, I will give the guy some credit, right? I would like, I mean, in my heart of hearts, I know that most leaders who get to that position, they don't get to that position without owing people, without having a little dirt under their fingernails. That being said, I will say this. I mean, we knew what his former profession was. The guy was a comedian. And so to go from a comedian and you can say what you want about Ukraine, right? Yeah, sure, they're fighting for freedom now, but I mean, it wasn't really that long ago that they were kind of shady too, folks.
Sure.
And so
and still are.
so
Come on, and still
are, right? And so you're looking at this going, okay, former comedian, kind of slimy country at times. And really, what's the main motivation here? It's just not to be consumed, not to be invaded by a bigger power. And who wouldn't want that? So do I think that the guy is in the right for fighting Russia? Absolutely. Do I think that they're, this beacon for liberty and moral values? Not necessarily, but I'll stand up for his fight. I'll stand up for his fight for sure.
Somebody came on the site today and they're like, dude, you're obviously a Putin puppet. I'm like, okay. CNN talking points. So good. Thank you. It's just like,
Well, that was some weird shit.
So I ultimately, listened to what the person had to say. And I just said, why does it have to be either or? Why can't I be against Putin and Zelensky? Why can't I be? Why? And I don't care what happens in Ukraine. All I care about is what doesn't happen in Poland. That's really all I care about. So if Putin loses and Zelensky, I don't care. I don't care. That's my number one focus as an American. And I just want to get the hell out of there. But it begs the question is, what in the name of God are we spending $130 billion? And here's the thing. Republicans have completely lost their freaking minds. I am officially no longer a Republican. I'm going to register as an independent. For the first time in my life, I will not be a Republican. And here's why. McConnell came out today and said Ukraine is single-handed the most important topic should be a most important topic for Americans.
Hell no.
That guy has completely lost touch. McCarthy sent a letter with 13 other Republicans that basically said, if you pass this omnibus bill, you are never getting a piece of GOP legislation through the House while we own it. And you're going to be a lame duck Senate. And you have Republicans infighting. You've got the 2014 Republicans, the Tea Partiers, and the religious zealots. You've got the hardline Republican conservatives, which are more of the Reagan Republicans. And you've got the new Trump party, and they're all going after each other.
Yeah.
And this bill is a perfect example, man. There's a clause in there that says CBP cannot put up any money towards the wall in any way, shape, or form. But would you be surprised that we're securing borders in Jordan and Yemen? And we're sending $410 million to 5 known terrorist Islamic countries to secure their borders? Leroy, did you hear me?
I did.
Well, do you have something to say about that?
How
can you not protect the United States borders and protect Islamic countries? How does that make any sense?
Right. Right, it doesn't because, while we're sending all of this money overseas, we're spending hundreds of $1,000,000 in Ukraine, but we're refusing to protect not only our own borders, but also our own closer at home interests. And no, it's like we have our priorities are completely inverted right now. It's irresponsible spending, and we have no sense of what it takes to truly keep Americans safe.
So what about, okay, so you put money in there for salmon. Salmon, dude. Salmon was mentioned in this bill like 45 times.
I didn't know that.
Salmon, yeah, because essentially the salmon flows are being, and this is Buttigieg. This is Buttigieg's big freaking boner is salmon in Washington and Oregon and in the runs that are being impeded by bridges and causeways, and they want to reroute these roads. And because salmon can't, dude, salmon, I've seen them traverse 12-foot waterfalls, but they can't get around this shit. So the whole point is, well, why didn't you figure that out when you built it? So hold on, I'm not done. How about B highways? And at first I thought, what are they going to do? Put plexiglass and make sure that no car stands above 6 feet so it can be protected? Nope, that ain't it. They're actually going to pollinate and put pollination stations. Fucking kidding me. On safety routes, so bees have a path not to go into the highways and get hit. Now, I understand the dilemma of not protecting bees. I get it. You don't protect bees, we run out of food, we all die. That's the theory. You can't pollinate flowers, You can't pollinate bushes and trees. Cows won't eat, cows don't eat, they die. Well, I get it. It's a chain of reaction. Great, I get it. But the amount of money that they're putting into this is ridiculous. How about the Nancy Pelosi getting her own building named after her?
Right.
Sending $500,000 for that.
Well, this is what the politicians are fighting for. What I mean by that is, do you think that an actual politician, do you see Nancy Pelosi actually going out there and hammering away to build, these beehives? No, that's not what they do. They throw money at the problem, your money. They throw money at the problem and then just say, look, we took care of it. No, there's no follow through, right? There's no accountability, apparently. And it's not as if we've ever made that claim that if you just throw gobs of money at something, that it just suddenly fixes the problem. If anything, the federal government is the example of how that doesn't work.
Right. So I just asked a poll question. What is more serious, the border or inflation? And listen, these polls are designed to be tough. Like I don't want one. Which one's more serious? And they both, in my opinion, are unequivocally important to America. But there's only one that I truly feel will do long-term damage. And in my opinion, that's the border.
Yeah,
border changes our country. Go ahead. No, Leroy, talk about it. Go ahead.
Sure. I said inflation. I'll tell you why. Inflation is a direct result of one item. It's too much government spending. I think it was Reagan who said that inflation isn't because Americans are living too richly. It's because the government is. And the border, you can make any argument you want, but the long and the short of it is, the border is supposed to, like, I think that most Republicans, most conservatives are of the mindset that we want immigration. We want all of these people, but we just want to have it happen legally. We want the pat down at the border to make sure that the people that are coming in don't have 10 pounds of fentanyl in their backpacks with, several thousand weapons. We just want to make sure that that's what's going on. It's and so that's something that is easily tweakable. In my humble opinion, I think that the inflation, that the economy is the bigger crisis right now. But that's just me.
In the short term, yeah, I mean, I do. I think adding 5 million illegal immigrants into our country in 1 year is going to devastate the southern border. And here's the thing. Is there is essentially no chance. There's absolutely no chance that you're going to see Mexico invade the United States.
Right.
You're not going to see that. But this is an invasion when it comes to that. If every country is supposed to have borders, and that's what defines a country, then it's absolutely critical for us to have a border for that very reason, that it defines the lines of our sovereignty. And without that, who's to say that Mexico won't get froggy? Who's to say that South America won't get froggy? Who's to say that with an exposed southern border, that it's not as asimilar as the North or the East or the West? And in the North, you have tundra and ice and Canada to go through, which is logistically impossible to go through.
Yeah.
And you have 3,000 miles of water on your left and your right. Really, if there's going to be an invasion, Mexico makes a lot of sense. If you're going to have any cavalry or ground infantry or mechanized infantry, you're going to come up for the South. That's why we need a strong border. That's why we need National Guard or military on that border to ensure that it's secure. And the only way you can do that is to protect the border states. Now, here's the question. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you believe it's important to monitor with the Coast Guard the oceanic states that are bordered by water, including in California, which Point Mugu, Navy, and Coast Guard go ahead and patrol the 101 and the Pacific Northwest and Southern California? You have the Gulf of Mexico, which is being patrolled by Border Patrol and Coast Guard and the U.S. Navy. You've got the Eastern Seaboard, which is, all the way from New York all the way down to Florida have military naval bases, which are perusing those waters and stopping drugs from coming up through Florida. You have Coast Guard. If it's so important for us to have protection with a military presence on our open seas, why is it just not as singularly important protecting our exposure on land? Can you answer me that?
I can. But it's not a good answer. Why? Well, because you and I are Navy kind of people, right? So we already know that water, if there was going to be an invasion, right, people would need to float their shit all the way to Mexico if they were going to use the Mexican door in order to get into the United States. And we would see that coming. So it would be anybody other than Mexico that would have to float that kind of equipment. But why is the land border less important than the water? I don't think that it is. It's not less important. It's just that it's being handled differently. And it's being handled differently simply because of politics, because the border is being made political. It's not being taken seriously. One of the articles in the Constitution says that it's the president's duty to protect us from invasion. And not that these people have weapons, right? Certainly one or two gang members, that kind of thing. But that's not an invasion. But the sheer numbers, is that an invasion? I think you can make the argument that to some degree, yeah.
Well, okay, let's go over the negative consequences of allowing unfettered access along our border.
Oh, if you don't control your border, you don't control the country, for one. Thomas Sowell said that.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the draw that has, okay, the U.S. Census takes place every 10 years.
Yeah.
Everyone understands that. And that census has not captured illegal immigrants in this country because you can't ask. And Democrats got that pushed through. So we have no idea how many illegal immigrants are in the United States. We assume it's between 11 million and 21 million illegals are in the United States. Right. And that is an incredible, that's a Grand Canyon of spatial abnormality between those two numbers. So that right there, you have 11 to 21 million people who you have no idea, who have no loyalty to the United States, who weren't born here, who don't understand our laws, don't understand our rules, don't understand national pride. And that can create, that is a very large demographic. You're starting to push African Americans or Asian populations in the United States with those numbers. That's incredible. So you've got 12% to 14% of the population is African American, 322 million people. So 3.2 at 10%, you're looking at 32 million people. So you're looking at about 42 million African Americans here. And if you have 21 million illegal immigrants and Title 42 gives up and you allow 5.1 million in or 11.2 million, which is what they're predicting over 2 years, you essentially, illegal immigrants are going to be the third largest demographic in the United States of America. That is unfucking believably scary.
That is.
That's terrifying. And you're talking about a group of people who I am fine Americanizing. I'm fine of bringing them in legally. Yeah. But what you're doing is that you're supplementing the birth of American-born families who live here, who understand our laws, understand the way of life, who understand our flag, understand the sacrifice that we've made, understand our history, at least to some extent, and losing grasp on that because of liberals changing things. But what you're asking to do is dilute the nationalism in this country with a foreign entity that does not represent law and order, which is Mexico, does not represent its people versus the government, that doesn't recognize constitutionality and freedom of speech, that does not necessarily consider women to be equal in a relationship. And if you bring all of that in, and also who are predominantly against abortion because of Catholicism, do Democrats really understand what they're doing is bringing in antithetical positions to their party that eventually will harm them, and Republicans the same thing with their initiative, because you're talking about diametrically opposed forms of government and mentality of people. And you see this with France. Mm-hmm. You see this with Middle East countries that have had unfettered access. You saw it with Bosnia and Herzegovina. You see it with places in Africa where unbelievable amounts of migration, or not immigration, but migration of people moving into a country and literally changing the government, the economy, the workforce, the mentality, the national pride, and turning into something it's not. If you think that can't happen in the United States, when you are literally going to replace the third largest demographic in the United States, that's going to have an impact. And if you don't believe that, then please explain to me how little the African American population has impacted the United States. And I will literally just go, poosh, because they have. At an from music to sports to writers to actors to a president of the United States, an unbelievable amount of contribution when it comes to military strength and inventions. African Americans have been essential to the growth of America. And if you're going to say that a third largest demographic in the United States is not going to have an impact culturally to us, I don't know what you're smoking. Right. Leroy, that was really long. And I'm sorry, but that's my argument to why on the long enough timeline that illegal immigration is more important than inflation.
And I'm not sure that there's necessarily a right or a wrong answer there. My kind of train of thought on that was that the economy is something that is, if we don't get it under control, then it becomes, and to your point, so is the border. Either one of these issues taken by themselves, they're still considered a national security issue. It's just that I'm looking at the economy going, it's so bad in terms of the deficit, in terms of the spending, in terms of the inflation that we're dealing with, that if we don't get a handle on it now, we may not be able to necessarily get it back when we need it. And I don't mean that we're like spiraling down the drain, folks. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you start dealing with multiple quarters that are considered recessionary, that's a problem. Folks, by the way, if you can, if you have an opinion, please call us. It's 804 504 1955. Give a call in and we'd love to hear from you. Um, something else that while you were talking about that, and while you were talking about the immigration, something else that I was thinking about was it cheapens immigration, doesn't it? Can you imagine
Sure.
being someone who came here legally or maybe is still in line to come in here legally, and you're looking at the thousands of people that are crossing the Rio Grande while you're staring at your paperwork going, where's my phone call? Why haven't they called? Why can't I get an interview to become a citizen yet? And you're watching all of these people just walk across unchecked. Should that not piss you off?
Well, it pisses off legal immigrants, and I know a lot of legal immigrants. I mean, listen, money, power, votes. Why do Republicans? Why do Democrats? Where's their disposition? Why do they not care about illegal immigration from the left, and why do they care about it on the right? The right cares because legal immigrants vote Republican predominantly, and illegal immigrants vote Democrat. That's it. It's money, power, votes. It's always about that. It will always be. This is why Biden hasn't went to the border. That's why he sent Kamala Harris, because he knew nothing was going to get done. I mean, can we just be honest? The borders are. She's done nothing.
Borders are.
She's horrible. Did you hear Joe Biden's little speech to the Ukrainian people? Dude, Zelensky was more articulate than Biden.
Well, Zelensky's about 1,000 years younger, for one. And
I'm so sick of that excuse.
In my humble opinion, he's also sharper now in his prime than Joe ever was. The only thing I've ever heard Joe, like his stronger points, was when he was lying. When he was talking about his education. And I'd be happy to compare my brain power with yours, sir, at any time of the week. Dude, you just lied. You just gave like 10
Poor kids
lies
are just
all
as
in a
bright
row.
and just as talented as white kids.
If you hold near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
What?
We're going to get a lot done.
Yes, we are. We are going to get a lot done. In our Skype caller, which I'm interested in doing, is what do you? We'll be right with you. So the question, Leroy, is that okay? Hold on a sec. So, Leroy,
Sir,
what? Who's talking? Hold on, we're not going to get this question out. Somebody's very excited right now to talk. So hold on a second. Okay, what's going on? Can you hear her?
You know, Matt, I cannot hear that person.
Okay, hold on a second.
I'm
So,
talking to Matt.
all right, this
There we
is
go.
Colleen. Colleen's calling, so I have a feeling it's Colleen.
Hi,
Can
Colleen.
you hear? Colleen, they can't hear you.
Leroy.
How you doing, Colleen?
You can't hear me?
No,
I
they
can now.
couldn't
Well,
hear
this
you.
is it.
Hold on. Everybody zip it for a second. Shut up. Thank you. Now, Colleen, they couldn't hear you because I didn't have the audio switched. Now, please say everything you said about Leroy, because you asked a question and I want to make sure everyone could hear. Apologize for telling you to shut up, but I had to go into dad mode. Colleen, you got the floor. What did you say earlier because they couldn't hear you? Go ahead.
Okay. I was talking to Leroy, and we do have an echo. I don't know why. This is not my problem. I'm in Mexico.
Hold on. Stop right there.
But
Let
I
me
did
try to
have the
fix it.
hotline
Hold
call
on.
me.
Let me try to fix it. Hold on now. If you have an echo,
Okay.
we've got to try to fix this. Do you have it?
Because
Do you
I don't have Facebook on.
Do you have
It's
an
my
echo
phone.
now? Okay. Do you have an echo now?
I hear you, but when I talk, I just heard that my voice echoing on your end.
Okay,
So
then that's not
somebody
me.
there's got an
That's gonna be you more than likely. But either way, go ahead and ask
Well, no,
Leroy.
I'm just on my phone. I don't have Facebook on.
It's okay.
I'm not that
What
stupid.
happened?
I'm maybe 73 and stupid, but not that
You're not stupid. I just don't really have the time to go into how audio and frequency work when you have multi-loop.
Okay,
We're not
got
going to
it.
go
I know
into
you're
it.
the smart guy. I get it.
Thank
I
you.
get it.
You're right. I
I'm
am.
talking to Leroy and Amy.
Yes.
Thank you very much for putting up with me. I'm
Yeah.
not going to kill myself thanks to Thomas. I'll wait. I waited 10 years. I'll wait a little longer.
Colleen, where are you from?
California, having to
Okay.
live in Baja, Mexico, which has no water and is shit, and please don't come here. They hate us. We're making it impossible for the locals to live here. Everything's going up. The potholes will kill you, and they will stop you on the freeway and take your money.
Okay,
Please
so
don't come to Mexico. If you're from
Colleen,
Canada,
let's take it back. First of all,
States.
Colleen,
What?
slow it down for me. So, who called Veteran Crisis Hotline on you?
I don't know. Amy or Leroy did. One of them. I was surprised because I normally don't answer 800 phone calls. And I said, "Who?" I normally get mad and say, "Who? What are you selling? Shut up."
Okay.
Thomas was very nice. He talked me off the ceiling.
Okay. So turn your volume down just a little bit. Number one, that's probably why you're getting a little bit of feedback. Okay. Now, here's the thing.
That I can do.
Colleen, I want to let you know why anyone would call Veteran Crisis Hotline. So the first thing I will tell you is that I recommended to do it. Leroy and Amy and I were all talking, and there comes a time in a conversation, in the hundreds of times that we've helped people who are suffering or struggling, that we have to kick it off to the professionals. Otherwise, we are held liable. And the moment that somebody said, hold on, let me finish. The moment that somebody says something that makes it seem like they're going to harm themselves, we are absolutely 100% responsible to get them to professional help. And we have to cease and desist helping, because we will be legally responsible if you did do something to your family and loved ones and anyone else who was involved. So that's the reason why. Okay.
Okay. Well,
now the question is, are you
very
okay?
Nice. Are
you
don't
okay?
have any family anymore.
Okay.
And it's just me and my dog. And I live in a cinder block house, freezing to death. Buy all my food in America. Had been hurt terribly in Mexico on my first night. Busted all my back teeth. Then COVID came. Now I find out I have to have 2 knee replacements, my shoulder replaced, and these damn teeth have to come out, and they won't operate on me until that happens. And the $2,000, which I have in insurance from this other horrible doctor, went to a good doctor last month who now wants $9,000. It might as well be $9 million. I'm dead. Just kill me now.
Well,
the only reason I don't do it with pills is because I'm going to be a cadaver, and I want my body to go to science, and I have a good heart. I've got good lungs, good everything going for me, but I've got arthritis. I've been hurt.
Colleen, I understand at least the feeling of despair, and I can't possibly understand what you're going through. All I can tell you is that there is a switch that you have to flip to understand that no matter how bad things get, there's always an option. That's never taken away from you.
Yeah, the option is if I had a gun, I'd put it in my mouth.
All right. I got to let you go, Colleen.
I can't.
Colleen, I need you to get on the phone with somebody who can help you. I'm not the one.
No,
Kiddo,
I already was on the phone.
I know, but you just said it again, and you have to understand is that
What does
I
it matter?
can't.
I don't have a gun.
Colleen,
I don't have one. I don't have the means.
Colleen, do you care about me?
Pissed off. That's okay,
Hey,
Matt.
do you care about me at all?
Of course, but I don't agree
right.
with you on your drug thing. They took
Okay,
my
then.
drugs away, and I was doing
Colleen.
really well on fentanyl patches until
Listen to me,
the
Colleen.
crazy prince went off.
Colleen,
and
you're
took
putting me in a
fentanyl
very
with
bad.
the
You're putting
pill.
me in a very awkward and bad situation as somebody who does
Well,
care
I'm
about
sorry,
you.
Matt. You're my
Okay.
favorite guy. You're the one that keeps me alive down here.
All right, then I need you to respect the fact that when you talk about doing harm to yourself, I have to stop the conversation.
Right.
All right, I'll stop talking about it. I'm not going to do
Just
it.
can't.
But
We just
Amy saved me when my son's 10th anniversary came up of his death, and I think I texted enough about it.
Yeah.
He had an overdose from the hospital and was kicked out, so I couldn't save him, and I'm a doctor myself. So I'm just tired of being in pain and living in a
I know.
shitty place and not being able to get the help that somebody who crosses a border can get.
So what is it going to take to get you started on a path where you can, maybe not, obviously there's a lot, but what is your plan to at least start to try to handle some of that? Is there Is there Medicare? Do you have insurance? Do you have these options? Or
I had Medicare and Medicaid. The doctors were not allowed to do anything during COVID. Thank God in Mexico, I got to know more than anybody in America could know because there's no censorship here. So I already knew what COVID was all about before anybody else did. And Japan came out on 12/12 and told it, don't put this in your kid's body, period.
Mm-hmm.
So I know all about that. It's all right. It's fine. Didn't get the jab, but now I can't go into any government buildings and bitch because they want to stick something up my nose, and I'm going, I'm not sick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a fever. I am not sick. My problem is I need $9,000 now or I'm going to die because the other doctors won't fix my knees and my shoulder that need to be replaced until the freaking teeth get pulled out, which have to be surgically removed. And all I am is, I've been on antibiotics for a year. Do you know what that's doing to my body?
That's horrible. It's
1 year of antibiotics.
It kills the
I'm
good
gonna
and the
get a super
bad.
disease.
Yeah.
So
So
I
Colleen,
live in my house. I might as well be in solitary confinement. I don't leave it. I have a mastiff dog that will take a little walk and he helps him, but he's 12 and a half years old now. And he's military trained, thank God. And he's police trained and handicap trained, but he's 12 and a half. And now he has kidney problems, which I can't address too much for him because he's going to die. And when that day comes, I'm going to have to be very sad.
what can I do to help?
I don't know, Matt. I need a miracle. Is there a miracle person out there that would like to help me get $9,000 to get my teeth pulled out, and then I can pay you $2,000 of that back and get my rest of my body fixed? Because I'm 73 on my next birthday, and if I live to be 93, this is a hellhole, and I don't want to do it here. This is hard living here in Mexico with no water, salty water, poo-poo water. I mean, it's ridiculous, and they hate us. They absolutely hate us here. My brother suggested I cross the border at the Rio Grande and just don't speak any English. Let him take care of me. Just give me an ATM card and go away. That's my only living relative. Everybody else is dead. I took care of my father, a military man like you, Matt. Went into Grunt, became an officer, got jets. Then I was born and he quit. Then he went into the Navy ships. What do they call them? Destroyers. There.
Yeah.
Nicest man in the world. And
so Colleen, can I ask a couple questions? Can I ask a couple questions? Sure. Okay. Your father's in the United States Navy. Is that correct?
Was dead now.
Yeah, what was? Yeah. And he retired.
Yes, he retired, and he went into Navy. He went and was a Red Cross field director. That's how I ended up in China before you. My dad was the only man allowed in China from Macau. He would take POW's letters in, half of a bridge, and the counterpart reached him. And I, unfortunately, that day took my camera, my Kodak camera, out to take a picture and almost had the gun. The guns came up at me, and my dad almost shit his pants because I was going to get shot for taking a picture of people going down a river dead.
So, Colleen, I'm trying to solve your $9,000 problem. Can I help you with that?
Okay. Yeah, cool. Somebody, is there an angel out there?
I don't know, but I've got to ask questions. I got to ask questions that might just need monosyllabic answers so I can help you. Your father was he retired from the, don't be sorry. Don't listen. If you need to vent, we can sit here and vent. If you need help, we can do that too.
I need to vent. I'm sorry. I just need to vent. My son's been dead 10 years and Amy stopped me.
Yeah. I understand all of that, and I have no problem with you venting. What I can't do is have the conversation that we were having earlier, which is now stopped. Yeah, so that's good. Okay.
Okay, we stopped that.
So your father was in the United States Navy, and do you know that you are actually an active member of USAA right now?
Unfortunately, my son flipped a car and I got off of it, but I'm trying to get back on USAA because I've had it since I'm 15. I learned to drive out at NCRD.
Okay, so let's focus on let's focus on solving the problem. So USAA has programs available for children of veterans, and they have specific lending programs to help people through situations like this. Have you spoken to USAA about that?
No, I will when I go home.
And
I have the number, and I've been trying to get their insurance back on my car because when you turn 70, they think you're stupid and they raise the price.
Okay. Are you getting Social Security from the United States government right now?
Yeah, I get $1,200 big dollars, and they stop my food stamps, and they won't give me food when they drive by where they give everybody else food. So yeah, that's what I get.
Okay. No longer married. Is that correct?
No. I had two lying, cheating assholes that left me with my autistic daughter, who I was telling Leroy, thank God she is now a vet surgeon. But my son, who died, got her to speak and got her to watch TV and cartoons, and she was terribly autistic.
Yep.
Bernard Rimland, who wrote the book on autism, said she was the most autistic person he'd ever seen. And I became what Obama was. Community organizer. For my kid to get a one-on-one, so she wasn't autistic at 5, went into the regular school. She went to Davis.
Okay.
UC Davis. And school.
I know it well. UC Davis. I do. So now that we know that, the question I have for you is, were you over 65 when you were married to these two gentlemen?
No. The first one.
So it's okay. It's okay. I just need a yes or no, Colleen, because I'm trying.
All right. No.
Okay, great. So the answer is no. So you were not married to these in any way, shape, or form. So they didn't provide you any alimony or child support or anything else. Is that correct?
No, because you have to be married 10 years to get all that. I was pregnant when my husband left with the last one, so he did have to pay 4 years. Okay,
and last but not least, with your Social Security, have you looked into Medicare and getting the teeth replacement in order to have surgery? Is that teeth is usually capped on Medicare to a certain dollar amount, and that's why you can't have the entire surgery. However, there is a clause.
Yeah, it's capped at $2,000. You're right, and no, I can't get anything else. It's on the
Colleen,
internet.
You gotta let me finish.
I apply for it all the time.
Colleen, you got to let me finish. Okay. I've helped thousands of people, but if you don't let me finish, I can't help you.
I know.
Okay, then let me finish.
Okay, let me finish.
Okay, and everybody wants me to treat you with kid gloves. I don't do that. I treat you just like I'd treat anybody. If my mom was here, I've talked to her the same way when she was talking.
I know you would.
Help is designed not necessarily to be easy. Okay, so let me finish. Because you need medical procedures that are considered to be emergencies based upon your condition and your ambulatory ability of moving, they will waive in Medicare your $2,000 or $2,500 cap in dentistry if it is linked to you not being able to have surgery that is not elective, that is medically necessary by a doctor. The hoops you're going to have to go through are going to be extensive, but this is designed in Medicare. If you can actually tell me, like you just did, that this is in writing from a doctor, that you have to have these surgeries, but have to have your teeth removed in order to do that, the $9,000 cap it doesn't matter. The $2,000 cap doesn't matter. Did you know that?
No, but I did get the doctor who I saw after the MRIs last month, who said, we cannot operate on you until this gets done or it'll kill you.
Great. Do you have that in your medical chart? And is that in writing from the doctor?
I can get it in writing.
You need to go get.
I got a shoulder doctor and a knee doctor.
You need to go get it in writing from both. That both operations are absolutely medical necessary for your sustained life and existence. Because if you don't, your ambulatory and functional movement skills will be 0 to none. If that's the case, you get those two things. I can help you and reach out to Medicare and get you the proper forms to have that cap on your dental to be lifted, and that takes care of the $9,000. Then you can get the surgeries through Medicare, and you're going to owe for those, and you're going to have to pay for whatever's out of pocket, and that's another hurdle we will get through. But that's the first step.
Might as well be million.
It's not. Well, it's not a million. I'm telling you how to solve the problem. If you choose to listen to me,
I'm writing down. I'm writing.
Okay, because I don't do sympathy and empathy. I don't do that. I'm going to tell you how to solve the problem, and then I expect you to lean on me to get the help you need, and we'll work on it together, and we will go tackle the problem. We'll solve the problem together. You got to work the
Thank you,
problem,
Matt. I
kiddo.
need this because I'm at a standstill. I cross the border. I
Yes,
spend
ma'am.
one night in a hospital, and I get my stuff done and go right back to Ensenada. And it's terribly frightening to travel at night on these roads with no lights and no rails. So if you make a mistake, you're over the cliff and dead. And I get stopped by federales, and they ask me for my money. Thank God I have.
Why
this
are you in
giant
Mexico?
dog that they, because unfortunately, I made a mistake and called a friend when I was homeless and decided I'd had enough and had the means to take myself and the dog out, and called my good roommate, a male friend who does help me. And I said, well, Greg, I just want to thank you for everything you've done, and I'm doing this. And he goes, stop it. Give me 24 hours. I said, well, that's it. I've got 2 days in the hotel, and I figured they'd find me. So he had a friend bring me to Ensenada, and it's been Shitsville since then. I don't know why anybody would ever come south. It's not a hotel like we all go to. It's not Estapa. It's not Las Hadas. It's not La Paz. Drive 10 miles in and see how the real Mexican people live. It's
So you
terrible.
still have your U.S. citizenship. You're just living outside of the United States in Baja. Is that correct?
Yeah, and you must return every 28 days, or I would be not considered able to vote or get anything.
Right.
They would really. That's another thing. If they found out I was living here, I think that they would probably slam the door on me. I have to be very careful about crossing the border and spending the night, getting a receipt at a hotel, seeing my doctors, getting my drugs, getting my food, and then coming back.
Okay. So here's the thing. I'm a problem solver, and I work the problem. And the problem right now out of all of those things is that you have a roof. It's not ideal. You're living in a third world shithole. I get all that. But the real situation is we can't move forward until you have your teeth removed. Period.
That's correct.
I also know a doctor in San Diego, California, a dentist who is a friend of mine. And I think there's a possibility if that doesn't work through Medicare, which it will, because they have to approve the dental surgery because it is cause of life. But if they don't,
it is. I have vertigo. And I'm on antibiotics. It's
right.
going to kill me eventually.
Okay, I understand, but we're trying to get the teeth solved because that's what's stopping you. That's your roadblock. Can't move forward until that's taken care of. I have a dentist friend of mine in San Diego who very much would. I can't speak for him, but would probably work with you on getting that taken care of for that dollar amount, which honestly, $9,000 to a dentist is not that big of a deal.
No.
You're talking 3 root canals and 1 extraction. That's $9,000. So it's not that much to do what you need to have done. It's just a matter of finding a dentist who's willing to do it. If you can do me one favor, what I need from you is 2 notes from those doctors stating that you must have oral surgery in order to proceed with surgery that is going to help your functional and ambulatory skills. You get me those 2 letters, I will get it approved through Medicare.
God
bless you.
But,
and then everything else.
Colleen, the key to that, Colleen, is that you have to get those letters. You're going to have to do a little bit of legwork on your end in order to get that documented.
Yeah, I'm going to have to drive all the way, like an extra 70 miles to go get the doctor who wants to give me shots, which I tell him is stupid because I'm married to an orthopedic surgeon. I know they don't work. And I go, look, I let him do it once. Really hurts getting a big needle stuck in between 2 bones in your knees. I didn't let the shoulder guy go. I just went, we're going to pass on that. It gave me heartburn so bad. I'm allergic to it, obviously. That can't take steroids. So I can just easily probably get this done on a phone call.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
and get it fat.
If you're unable to use your knees and shoulders, then you have an excuse not being able to drive, and any doctor's office who've seen you will not need to see you again to write that letter, because all of that, all of those notes are in your medical records.
Yes, they are, all of them. I have 6 vertebrae out of my back, just like you, but they won't touch me till I'm 75.
Okay. So are you married to a surgeon, you just said? You said you're married to a surgeon?
Yeah, I was married to an orthopedic surgeon, lying, cheating scum.
Okay.
You were or you
Scumbag.
are?
I should have married the Navy pilot.
Were
What
you?
the
Are
hell
you
was
still
wrong with
married?
me?
Colleen, are you still married to the
No,
surgeon
I'm
or
not
not?
married. That was 1986.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
So the reason why I was asking if you're still married, because if you're over this age of 65 and you receive some sort of alimony or child support, you are eligible for their Social Security if they're no longer living, whether you're divorced
No,
or
you weren't.
not.
Yeah, no. That
I know.
didn't. We had 13 years in court, Matt. 13 years, $1.5 million.
That's why I was just asking.
And I
was
had
just
an
asking.
autistic child. So I mean, I was just, when my good lawyer, who he had 6 lawyers, I had 1 lawyer, he quit. And then
Okay.
I had to show up as a lawyer for myself. That's when you start losing, because
All
they
right.
keep you to the same higher standards as a real lawyer. And after 13 years, I had enough. My poor son was he was going crazy. I had an autistic child that was going to go into school, and a man that wouldn't give up.
Well,
He remarried.
I know you've been
because
watching
he
the
went
show
on,
for
and
quite
I
a
got what I got what I deserved. I ended up with $200,000, which, you know, in San Diego, that doesn't last long. I didn't buy a house. I took care of my dying parents,
Yeah.
and I got their money. And my brother goes, "What did you do with your money?" I said, "Well, I put my son through college, and then they killed him. That's what I did." "What did you do with your money, Johnny?" I get nothing but bullshit from my relatives, but they're all dead now, thank God. They're all dead. It's just me.
Okay. That's
I
Colleen.
found
That
my
is
Scottish
that is all.
relatives. That's all I want to do is go to Scotland. Let me get well enough. I'll give somebody American citizenship, and I'll get a Scottish citizenship. I've already lived in England. My son was born in England. You don't want to live there
Colleen,
either. Trust me.
Colleen, do you have someone you can talk to? Do you have someone who you can reach out to? Is there a person that you have?
No, I'm all alone here in Mexico.
Okay.
The one person I do know is a man who left his wife and children and is down here avoiding child support. He just texted me a few minutes ago. He's wanting to know why he can't, call me right now. And I'm going, because I'm watching the show. You should be watching, dumbass.
That's right.
So,
Always could use more viewers. So, Colleen, I will make you an offer that I'm willing to do. Is that there's some people who I would recommend that you can speak with, who I personally know who take Medicare, and I think there's just an honest assessment for someone who is not a doctor, but has helped thousands of vets with PTS, anxiety, TBIs, depression, suicidal thoughts, and also some issues with medicinal psychosis and other things, is you need someone to talk to. And you have a lot on your mind.
my
and
dog is really interesting. You know that?
Yeah, your dog's not going to help you, Colleen. And I'm being serious. And the moment that
dog.
you don't
Oh my
take it
God.
serious is the moment that I hang up. So I don't know what you're used to, but I don't waste my time. So if you need me, I'm here. If you don't, let's cut off and we'll talk some other time. But I'm recommending to you that you get someone you can talk to. And if Veteran Crisis Hotline made you feel better in any way, shape, or form tonight at all, if Amy, probably not me, but if Amy and Leroy made you feel better tonight, then I would strongly recommend that you find someone to talk to, and that is covered under your Medicare. You know that, right?
It's just hard to find in one day, man.
I know, kiddo, but we don't have time for sympathy and empathy. We only can tackle the problems in front of us. You're stronger than this. You're a strong woman. You're passionate. You're driven. You're smart. You're intelligent. Enough. Let's go kick some ass. Let's solve the problem. Let's work the problem together.
Right.
Okay.
And the problem is you need your teeth fixed and you need someone to talk to.
Yeah, and they don't speak. Even if they speak English, they don't want to. So I've learned.
Well, that's why you need to utilize your Medicare, which covers appointments with psychologists and psychiatrists up to a certain extent.
Oh, I don't need any psychology. I spent 15 years on the couch.
Yes, you do. You need someone to talk to. Okay, well, then this is where we part ways, and I say thank you for your call. They're not going to tell you anything. They're going to listen to you. And they're going to listen to what you have to get out.
How many psychiatrists do I have to have in my life? Don't
One.
you think 15 years was enough?
No.
Whichever one helps you.
That's right.
Whichever one helps you, Colleen.
Colleen, I'm seeing a psychologist. It's not a bad word.
No, it's not.
it's
I
not.
used to go with each of my children. That's three times a week, and two for myself. One that agreed, how does that make you feel? And I would go, oh, not you. And then I found somebody I could talk to for real.
That's it. Right
But
there. You
they're
just said it.
expensive. That's when I had money. I don't have money anymore, and I don't need. I know about all this psychobabble.
Medicare covers
You know?
your psychological appointments up to, depending upon the severity, if you're diagnosed with bipolar disorder, anxiety, depression, or none at all, you can at least have up to like 5 to 12 appointments, depending. And then if you are diagnosed with one of those severe mental, not disorders, but traumas, issues, etc., you can have up to one appointment a week, up to unlimited. It just, you've got to ask for the help, and you've got to find value in it. You know?
I may be mistaken, but I believe that there's a program, and it's specific for veterans and children of veterans, where you can get, I think it's 9 free visits to a psychologist in order to help kind of work through that, and completely free of charge. There's no, and all you have to do is call into. I don't think it's the VA. It might be Veterans Crisis Hotline, and they will help set that up for you.
Yeah, VA, the
I just
Veteran
don't want
Crisis
anybody
Hotline will
calling my
take your
doctor.
Medicare. They'll
My
take your
physical
Medicare.
doctor and cutting
ahead.
off my 3 pain pills a month. I don't want that happening.
Yeah.
Or 3 pain pills a day. I don't want that. I'm already in enough pain. I don't need to be super pain.
Yeah.
I've already done that once. It's scary to have them say, "Where are you? We're sending the police after you right now." No, thank you. I was already homeless once. I don't need that.
Yeah. All right,
I will
Colleen,
do what
listen.
I can. I think it's
that's
very
a-
smart
up
if
the
I can
fight,
get
Colleen.
these doctors.
Colleen, I know you're cared for in this chat, and there's people here. You've been on the show for a long time. I love when you're on. I love when your comments are on, and I appreciate you. I don't want you to take my seriousness or stoic demeanor as not having compassion. I just know what you need versus what you don't. And what you don't need is someone to coddle you and tell you,
Right.
you know, it's going to be okay, because we don't know. It may not be okay. But what we can
No,
certainly
it may
do
not be
is
okay.
tackle
I
the
may die
things
in
that.
the first surgery. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't see that happening. You seem way too stubborn to do that. So I think what you need to do is do what I recommended. Get the
Thank
2
you.
notes,
Yes.
and then I can
Please.
help you with Medicare. Okay.
Okay, that would be great. But consider I only drive up once a month because I don't have the gas is expensive. It's $100. I'm
Colleen,
driving
you
a
didn't listen to me.
25-year-old car.
Colleen, you didn't listen to me.
Yeah.
If you've already seen the
Okay, I was
doctors
fine.
and they have already stated those things, all you need to do is call the front
Okay.
desk and tell them you need a letter and a referral stating that you have to have oral surgery in order to proceed with emergency surgeries on your knee and your shoulder in order to sustain life. If you have that, we have a leg to stand on with Medicare. Then we
Yes.
go and fight that together. We go to that wall and fight it together. And then we win there. Then you have your surgery. And then we go ahead and deal with the other surgeries and what that looks like. Okay? Yes,
I
ma'am?
can't write that fast. I'm trying to write
Just
it.
get me 2
Life
notes
threatening.
stating that you have to have surgery orally, period.
Yeah. I already know that from the doctor when I got the
Okay.
MRI. I already know that.
All right, Colleen, I'm going to let you go. If you need anything,
Okay.
you can text me, Leroy, Amy, anytime. We'll do our best to get back. And God bless you. You're loved, you're cared for, and don't take any of my demeanor as not caring. I just, once again, empty words isn't going to help you.
No, and I'm not the type that accepts that kind of shit. You know, I'll get in there and scrap with you, and that's what I appreciate about your show.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we love you and adore you, and we hope that you're okay. Please call us back, okay?
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Colleen.
Amy. Thank you, Leroy. That's my dad's name, Leroy. It's a lucky name, not lucky number, lucky name.
All right.
You got it, buddy.
All
Talk
right.
to you soon. Colleen, God bless.
Take care.
Merry Christmas.
All right.
Merry
Thank you.
Christmas. All right.
Merry Christmas.
Okay. So, Veteran Crisis Hotline, 1-800-273-8255, press 1, number 1. We're out of time for tonight. 22 veterans commit suicide a day. As you can hear, people need help. And it takes one phone call. Veteran Crisis Hotline, they're amazing. They take insurance. They don't take any insurance. Sometimes they'll just help you. It's free. And that's what they're all about. They'll find the right person for you. They cover traumatic brain injury, PTSD, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, everything. If you are struggling, if you are thinking of taking your life, you need to call Veteran Crisis Hotline and get it taken care of. Listen, people. A lot of people are like, just listen to her, Matt. Just listen. First of all, do me a favor. With respect. With all the love in the world. If you're a baker, I don't tell you how to bake. If you're a plumber, I don't tell you how to plumb. Okay. If you're a cobblestone layer, I don't tell you how to lay stone and masonry. Please don't tell me how to handle somebody in crisis. Okay. My family is too important to me. And if a person is threatening to commit suicide, and I hear that more than once, and they're already de-escalating and they continue, that means I am unable to help them, and I am unable to work the problem because the problem is not one that I can solve. They need professional help. They need someone to take care of them in real time, and I am not that person because I cannot lose everything because I say or do something wrong, and I am not qualified for that. What I'm qualified for is to recognize the signs of bipolar disorder, depression, anxiety, TBIs, PTS, at least to a point where the signs I can see, but I can't diagnose it. And if I recognize those signs, I know how to get them to the right spot. What I cannot do is deal with suicide over the phone. And I will not, and Leroy and Amy will not, and that is why I at first balked. Second, if I can't talk, I can't help you. I can listen, but honestly, everything after I need emergency dental surgery didn't fucking matter. I need emergency dental surgery so I can do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Until A happens, I don't care what B, C, D, E, and F, and G are because they don't matter.
Right.
So the only problem that we could work together was her getting her teeth fixed. Then everything else will take one at a time. Does everyone understand that? Good. Go ahead, Leroy.
Well, it's one thing to reach out to someone, say you need to vent. Sure. I mean, we can all be here for that, right? It's something else entirely when you want to call in and just, how can I put this? When you're not necessarily looking for the steps to help. You just want you want people to hear you. And those are two kind of different things. What we want to make sure that we're getting around is, look, we can give everyone the kumbaya hug, right? We can tell everyone that we love them. We can tell them that you are important, and you are. But you have to be willing to fight. You have to be willing to get in the ring and say, look, folks, I am here. I'm not giving up. Give me that number again. I need it. Right? I would love to be able to help you, but that's not I'm not qualified for that. I will help you make that call. Absolutely.
Right.
But I'm an intelligent professional. I'm not qualified to diagnose those types of problems. And I'm sorry, but.
And I didn't say that someone said, I'm a nurse. Don't tell me not to be compassionate. I didn't.
No, yeah. Nobody said that.
But I'm not there. Not many nurses, unless it's the nurses hotline, you have the schooling to handle those things. I can only tell you who I am, and sitting here and blowing empathy and sympathy up your ass. So let me ask you a question. If I would have simply said, oh, Colleen, I'm so sorry.
Right.
I'm so sorry.
Misery loves company.
Oh, Colleen, I'm sorry. Leroy's sorry. Leroy's like, I'm so sorry. All right. Well, have a good night.
What does it
How is that going to help Colleen?
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
Now Colleen has a task. She has a goal. And survival training 101, Leroy and I will both tell you because we've both been through it, is to have a goal and have a task. And if you don't have one, you need to be working towards one. And when you're done with yours, you better have another backed up because that will create survival. People who don't have a job and have a purpose die. People give up and quit. Give her a task. Her task is to go get 2 letters. And if she's serious, she is going to go after those 2 letters and make that her goal. And then the next thing, she'll have another goal. And I'll give her another goal and another goal. And then that will also build credibility between us that she's serious and that I'm effectively going to help her. If she doesn't take that first step, then unfortunately, all the compassion in the world is not going to motivate her to survive.
Exactly.
That is up to her, not up to me. I
know,
can never make her decide that, ever.
With 1,000% confidence, I can tell you, because I've watched this happen. I've watched this happen in the last 2 years. We had a relatively close family member who retired and lost that purpose. They sat in the chair. They watched TV and just sat there. And I love them dearly, but you can't do that. You have to find a purpose. If you do not have that, then what's the point? Right? You have to dig in. This is my Christmas gift to you guys, right? I want everyone to reinvest in yourself and try and find that purpose. What is it that keeps you up? What is it that bothers you? Make that your purpose in life. If you want to change things, damn it, change them. But don't just sit there. Don't do it. Don't feel sorry for yourself. There's enough of that self-wallowing pity going around.
Sharon, I like you. You're getting on my nerves. So I just want to let you know. You're starting to piss me off, and I'll tell you why. You say, if you allow a person to speak, you gain more information about them. Lady, I did counterintelligence for the United States government. I think I know how to get information out of people, number one. I have seen people a hell of a lot more serious, who've been staring at me with murder in their eyes, and I've gotten them to soften and give me information that they wouldn't give the toughest operators in the world. So number one, I know how to listen to people. Number two, you didn't see the 45 minutes to an hour that Leroy's been working behind the scenes talking to her. You didn't see the 30 to 45 minutes that Amy's been working behind the scenes talking to her. You didn't see my 25 minutes working with Amy and Leroy sending texts back and forth talking. You obviously didn't listen to the conversation that just took place where I let her go on and on and on, but I have to control the conversation. Otherwise, we are going to let her spiral out of control, which could lead to the very thing that we don't want to happen. And it's called refocusing. It's called retargeting. It's called acquisition. It's moving people off of a topic that's leading them to despair and getting them off of that and trying to focus on positivity. That is a simple process in a mindset to transition somebody into help and self-help versus self-deprecation and self-harm. With respect, I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate your counsel. I did not solicit it, nor do I need it. Are we good now? Good. It's easy to cast from the cheap seats. I didn't see you out here taking rounds. I didn't see you on these conversations with her. I didn't see you dial in and come in and try to help. It's easy to cast aspersions from the cheap seats. Otherwise, just stay in the cheap seats and cheer on the game versus trying to come on the field and hit the ball, okay? Otherwise, next time the game starts, you should be here to play. I may have lost you as a viewer. That's the way it is. It's not going to be my first, not going to be my last. Leroy, you got 1 minute. Put a bow on it. Wrap us up. Take us home, buddy.
1 minute. Boy, what can I fill that up with? So Zelensky going into the White House. I think that was a needed measure in order to ease this $40 billion plus bill down the throats of the Americans. Ultimately, he should have put a little sugar on that one, but we'll swallow it, and we're still gonna be here, folks. We're doing fine. We're gonna be okay. In terms of God, I missed Amy tonight. In terms of the holidays, folks, please make sure that you're reaching out to your veterans, the people that are in your family that might be struggling. Make sure that you're calling them and just listen. If they're struggling, let them vent a little bit and then give them some suggestions. Remember what we talked about purpose and having that. You have to You have to have purpose in life, folks. If you don't, you're just sitting there then, right? Give yourself some focus, give yourself some direction, aim for a goal, make those goals happen. Past that, I wasn't, Matt and I talked a little bit about this ahead of time. We were trying to make this show happen kind of on the fly. There were some technical issues, and I love Matt dearly. So, yeah.
I love you too, buddy. Jack told us, I realized why somebody banned you. It wasn't me. Somebody did. But I brought you out of banning just so I can ban you again. You're on Facebook, Matt. Of course, you're going to... Oh, where did it go? Hold on.
What did you do?
What did I do? Damn it. I don't want to lose this guy. Hold on. Where did it go? Oh, man. It disappeared. That sucks. I don't know where it went. Damn. I really wanted to see that. I'll find it again. Well, Jack, you're unbanned for now because I unbanned you to have the comment. I'm sure I'll get you again. He said I was being, this is about ego. No, it's not about ego, Jack. I don't care if people challenge me and call me out. What I care about is when someone emphatically will not stop and say that I should do a certain thing that you're not going to get me to do. You're wasting your breath and you're wasting your time. That's it. Whether you like that or not, I really could care less. Jason Smith says it's all part of the plan.
All part of the plan.
It is. All right, everybody. Listen, I appreciate it. The only other thing I wanted to say, Leroy, is, and I was supposed to let you go, but Trump's taxes. How do you feel that ultimately these are going to be released? He paid $1 million in taxes in his 4 years. And I'm like, who gives a shit? If this guy avoided taxes legally,
I had
good
a conversation.
for him.
I had a conversation with somebody else who she and I often butt heads. And she was like, oh yeah, they should absolutely be released. And I'm like, so wait, you're okay with the government forcibly releasing private information, doesn't matter if it's the president or not. Let's say a 3-litter comes up to your home, says, we want your tax returns. We want all of your financial data because we're going to publish it to the world. Are you okay with that? And she, where's the right answer in that? That is not their job. That is not their right. It doesn't matter if you don't like Trump. It doesn't matter if you hate Trump. You can hate Trump and still be for the Constitution and some right to privacy.
Right. James Clemens, who James been on the show for a bit, says you guys should listen to some Jordan Peterson. He's a good one. Who is this? You say? Who is this? Who is this slim 6'6" to 6'7" silver-haired Adonis that you speak of with intellectual prowess in every literary and verbal sense? The vernacular escapes me. The name, the moniker, I do not know. Who is this Jordan Peterson of you who you speak?
I'll tell you what, some weird shit.
Are you shitting me, dude? We live by Jordan Peterson. Dude, I would be Jordan Peterson's jizz mopper. Okay. I adore the man. He's going to go see him. Tell him, Leroy, you dick.
I am going to see him in February. I bought my tickets 6 months ago. Yeah. And I find him to be a fascinating person. I've read his books. I didn't just read 12 Rules for Life. He has another book that was, far more, for like clinicians. And it was called Maps of Meaning. And you actually, it was for people who were actually going into the psychology field. And I've read that. And yeah, he's an amazing man, really. Yeah. Sorry.
I love Jordan Peterson. There's plenty of people who I really like. Now, somebody came on last night and I said this, and they said that they reminded me of a guy named Oatley. He lives right up, dude. He lives in Winchester. Like I could throw a rock at him.
Really?
Yeah. So
wait, Stephen Odie, right? Is it Odie or Oatley?
Odie, Oatley, Oakley. I don't know, dude. I don't even know the guy. She's like, you have tattoos and you have a beard and you're trying to emulate exactly who he is. And I'm like, who is? Do you know how many people have beards? This is the retired fucking military starter kit, folks. Yeah. Military style t-shirt, tattoos, beard, wraparound sunglasses, and some sort of tactical hat. Are you kidding me? Hold on, somebody's calling. Leroy, this might get good. Hey, who's calling? Where are you from?
It's Sharon from Tennessee.
You got to speak up, kiddo. I can hardly hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little bit. Just kind of reach down and find your barbaric yelp.
Oh, I don't know if I have that.
You've got it. All right. So is this Tina? Is that what you said?
No, Sharon.
Oh, it's Sharon. Sharon, where are you from?
I'm from Tennessee.
Sharon, have you called in before?
No, I have not. I'm the
one
you were fussing at.
Well, it's good to have you,
I wasn't fussing at you. I was just giving it to you right back. It just felt like you were kind of coming at me a little bit. So tell me why I was wrong. It's okay.
Not at all. You and Leroy are like my brothers, literally. Oh. And they were all military. They're deceased now. I love them dearly.
I'm sorry.
And I don't want to be grating and on your nerves at all.
you weren't. That's for the show. Sharon, you got to understand, I do a lot of things for ratings, right? You know, I got to create a little bit of drama. I got to be combative a little bit. The moment I heard you, I said, oh, this is the sweetest lady in the world. I feel like a dick now.
You are a dick.
I think you guys are wonderful. I really do.
Sharon, how long have you been listening to this show? Because I know I've seen your avatar and I've seen your comments before, but how long have you been listening?
Oh, my goodness, Matt. It's been, I don't know. I'm so busy, literally just working all of the time, but I truly enjoy listening to you guys. I mean, it's just the banter back and forth, and it's just amazing to me because you're like-minded, because you're military. I mean, you've seen my whole story. I'm not going to repeat it, but we're kindred spirits, whether you believe it or not. And I do not mean to get on your last nerve.
You're not on my nerves.
I don't.
I was busting chops, Sharon. Sharon, do you understand my job? Sharon? My job, real quick, and then I'm going to let Leroy go. But, you know, Leroy's been pretty talky tonight. I'm just saying.
Leroy, I love you too.
So my job is to use every weapon in my arsenal that I can to win a conversation. It's not ego. You're a nurse. Of course, you know more than I do about interacting with people who are in a state of mind that's self-deprecating, or they want to commit self-harm. That's not my point. My point is that I have to navigate those waters on a phone call from someone who I do not know, who is in a manic state. And my job is to limit the amount of damage that I can without the formal training to do so. I get it.
And
I would
you're exactly correct.
Okay.
You are correct, sir. You are. It's just, it literally is just, it's almost like being an investigator. The more you allow a person to speak what they have to say, she literally just wanted to vent. And she's been telling these same stories for years and years and years because she has a lot of built up hatred for everything that's happened in her life. And I get that. It's a lot of pain. And I get that as well. I don't think Miss Colleen is going to hurt herself. I really don't. She's 73 at this point. But I do understand her frustration with how expensive everything is. It's
sure, so do I.
Everyone's being gouged to death. And I feel sorry for the physicians as well, because I deal with it daily. They're not getting paid. They have to feed their families as well. So it's just a catch-22 for everyone involved. I mean, they have to jack up the prices just to even recoup what they're losing, paying their staff, the whole 9 yards. So I'm extremely proud of what you've done to try to help Miss Colleen. Extremely proud. Mm-hmm. You're very matter of fact. You know, that's how, you know, manly men roll. I totally get that.
Okay.
It's just, I have a softer side.
Well, wait a second. No, yes. Hold on a second, because I got Okay, sorry. I had to free my manliness. So listen, folks, if you think, number one, that I am not a compassionate person, and
No,
Sharon, I'm not
sir,
saying I'm
I
not
do
saying I'm not
think-
saying you're saying that. I'm not saying you're saying that. What I'm saying is that there's people who believe that I am just this rough, gruff person who doesn't have a. Folks, I don't get paid to do this. I don't get paid to help people. They don't make
You
me
don't
money.
get paid to be a therapist, correct?
That's
I
right.
understand.
But I do it because I care. I just have a very certain way of working. I grew up with a bipolar mother, Baron Munchausen by proxy, whatever the hell it's fucking called. I always mix it with that
Oh,
movie
my
Baron
goodness.
Munchausen and the Great Balloon, whatever. So she was abusive mentally and physically. She
And
is.
I get that, Matt.
Hold on, let me
because you
finish.
even
I
said
thought
that
listening to
today.
people was a
I
good thing,
felt
Sharon.
like you
Sharon,
were
I thought
talking
listening to
your
people was a good thing.
mom.
Sharon, I thought listening to people was the first step. You're not doing a very good job.
I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. There we go. Great. See how that works? See how that guilt works? Guilt's awesome. I should be Catholic. Now listen,
Yeah.
my mom was the same way, and I always thought placating her was the thing I should do. Here's what I've learned in life. When an alcoholic is starving for a drink, you don't give him a drink. When a drug addict needs drugs, you don't give them drugs. And when a person is drowning, you don't hand them a glass of water. You get them the fuck out of the water. You get them away from the drugs. And her wallowing in her misery isn't what she needs. She needs to be redirected, and she needs to change her neuron paths from going down a place that's causing her more harm and showing her a way to have a goal and fixate on something else. I listened enough until it became literally a spiral into verbal diarrhea that is not helping her nor me gain an understanding of who she is. I need to address the problem. I need to tackle the problem. That's the way I do things. I know you do it differently, but that's who I am. Fair enough?
Fair enough. And that's
All right.
fine.
Now, Sharon, what are you a nurse of? No, Leroy. No, yes, you can, Leroy. Please go ahead. And then I want to know what you're a nurse of.
Oh, my God. I've been a nurse of everything.
Well, let Leroy go first.
did.
Leroy's got to talk. Leroy's got to say something.
Go
Let
ahead,
Leroy
Mr.
talk.
Leroy.
Go ahead, Leroy. It's you
What I
have
was
the floor.
gonna say-
Wait, Leroy.
What I-
Leroy, you have the floor. Go get him, big guy.
What I was going to say
Yes,
was
sir.
that Sharon was absolutely correct when she said that it's a double-edged sword. Here's the thing. When people call in, doesn't matter if we know better or not, if we are just listening to listen or not, when someone
Right.
gives indication that they could potentially bring harm to themselves, we have to take it seriously. Because
And you're obligated.
if we-
You're exactly
because
right.
if-
So they don't understand that.
if we don't, who will?
Right.
And so in the
You
meantime,
could be
while
liable as well. You're correct.
we're also trying to plot out, all right, well, what are the corrective actions that we can suggest, and we can kind of get that ball rolling. And in this case, I think she was absolutely correct. She needs not only the corrective surgery, but she's going to need a little bit of couch time. And I say that with all the love in my heart.
Right.
Here's the thing. We're not necessarily here to sugarcoat things. I can listen to a degree, but at some point we just have to, kind of shut that gate hard and say, look, this is what you need. I love you. This is what you need. Go do this. Get these papers prepared. Do this action. Submit those papers with this person, and we have to get you going that way. I would love to sit here and
Right.
listen all day, but I just can't.
Right.
And it's called compassion fatigue, and I completely understand because you do reach that level that you have compassion fatigue. You're like, oh my goodness, all right, come on, everybody's lives are so freaking difficult. Everybody, I really don't know a person in the real world, that their lives are not difficult. I
Not
get
in the
that.
Matrix.
But, it's just your tolerance level, everyone's tolerance level of what you can take and what you're not going to take.
Yeah, I
Like,
got to challenge
okay, we
that.
got to move on.
Yeah, I got to challenge
You
that.
understand what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
So,
Because my son
no.
my son has been vomiting for the last 35 minutes, and they
Oh, my
came in
goodness.
to get
You
me
need to
to
get off
help.
the phone.
Hold on a second. No. Wait a second. I have
Oh.
compassion fatigue.
Oh, I got you.
Let me
Well-
finish. My son's been vomiting for 35 minutes, and they came in to get me, and I'm on the phone with Colleen trying to solve a problem. I don't have compassion fatigue. I only have so much to give because I have many people demanding it at the same time. So my time is very, very important to me. So I disagree. I'm very compassionate to Colleen. I built rapport with her very quickly. I did not raise my voice. I did not get demanding. I did not have her feel like other people have treated her. I don't know. I don't consider it to be a lack of compassion. I feel that I know what that person needs in that time, and it's not somebody coddling them. It's somebody challenging them to get out of what she's in, because she's been in that mood for 7 hours. She's been manic for 7 hours. If we continue to allow her to stay in that state of mind, we're entering a danger zone that I'm not willing to go. I'm not willing to lose Colleen. So I'm going to do whatever I can to get her out of that hole, and that is challenge her and be direct with her for someone who she respects. And if there's anyone who can do it, it's me, because she has given me that power by calling. So I'm going to take it. That's all. It's just a difference of opinion, kiddo. That's all.
That's all right, and that's respectable.
Yeah,
and
so are you.
No, I wasn't there for the whole story, so I apologize. That's just
Don't apologize.
Me.
Can we shift gears, and then I'm going to go take care of my kid. What are you a nursing? What are you a nurse of? Where do you rest your white hat and your Red Cross and your Nightingale cloak of Navy?
Ratchet, do they?
No. Where do you work? What do you do?
Leroy, that was mean.
No, he did that to me. He called me Nurse Ratchet one time. I didn't much like it either. He called me Nurse. He's being a dick. He called me Nurse Ratchet. I completely agree with you. He's just on fire. It's his time of the month. It's just his time of the month. So what? Besides Leroy, why do you watch the show? No, I'm kidding. What are you a nurse of?
I originally started out in oncology. 28 years I've been doing this.
Wow.
And then
love you.
I did home health for another, 2 years. I did oncology. I've worked every floor. I've done, oh my goodness, I've done LTAC. I have done home health for 20 years. I've done, I've taken care of the intellectually disabled as well.
Wow. So Leroy?
And I currently am working for Big Pharma.
Oh, really?
Manufacturers.
Pfizer? Working with Pfizer?
I'm not even going to say.
You shouldn't.
Who
You shouldn't say.
I work for, but no, sir. I work for a lot of drug companies.
Wow.
And yeah, I know a lot. It's really disheartening.
Well,
but I love my patients because I take care of everybody across the whole entire United States. So I enjoy talking to everybody every single day, and that's what I do. I help people. Now, thank goodness, in my old age, telephonic nursing, which I didn't even know that was a possibility for nurses. That's how old school I am. So God has blessed me with that, at least, to have the ability finally, because I can't lift 300-pound patients anymore. My back is gone.
Well, I can't.
And I just can't do it.
What a job.
I can't do it. I can't do the wound care. I can't do all of that anymore. You know, just using one arm to lift a patient so that you can, and there's no one to help you when you go into the home.
I feel that way every time I pee.
I was a clinical manager. I was over physical therapists, speech therapists, occupational therapists, social workers, my own team of nurses. You name it, I've done it. And I'm tired, boss.
I appreciate.
I'm tired. That's my favorite saying to my husband. I'm tired, boss.
Well, you've got an incredible resume, and I absolutely admire what you do and how you do it. Don't stop doing it your way, because that's the only way we can be, right?
We absolutely need
I
more
don't
people
want
like
you to be so mad at me all the time, Matt.
Sharon, why am I mad at you? Listen, for somebody who leads with compassion, you're awful sensitive. What makes you think I'm mad at you, Sharon? I adore you. What is it? Okay, let's crack this nut. We've got Leroy, have you got to go?
You fussed at me.
No, not at all.
So I fuss at everybody.
I was so upset, Matt. I couldn't sleep. I told my husband, I'm like, oh my goodness, Matt's so mad at me. He said,
Bullshit.
I feel like I'm talking to my mother.
Why?
And I don't want you to feel that way.
Why would you feel that I was upset with you, Sharon? When? Was this another night or was this tonight?
You said it. It was several shows ago.
What did I say?
I'm
Sharon,
not
let's get
leaving
this
you.
out. Let's get this
Hold
out.
on. Hold on. Can I make
Leroy,
a statement? Real quick?
Leroy, will you facilitate this for us?
Can I make a statement real quick? Sharon, you have to understand something, Sharon.
Yeah.
Yes,
Matt
sir.
nor myself will ever will talk like that to someone unless we love them, unless we respect them. We won't just go and break the balls of someone arbitrarily. Well, sometimes we will, but
Sometimes.
9 times out of 10, it's because we feel comfortable enough with you that we can get away with that. So don't take it as an insult. Take it as a form of acceptance.
I need
As
to
a
know what
friendly-
was said.
Friendly
So
form of hazing.
let's do this. I need to know what was said so I can give this the attention it truly deserves. So can you please walk me through what the situation was, Sharon?
Well, I don't want to hurt your show at all, so don't.
You're not going to hurt my show. I've got 67 people on. It can't get much worse. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it was just about the jab and just my knowledge about the jab, and I'm like,
Oh, I remember this.
further. Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Sharon, stop
And,
calling me sir. Okay, can I explain something? Sharon, okay,
No,
first of all.
I'm a Navy brat. You don't understand. My daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, they were born in the Great Depression, so I showed the utmost respect, and I love my men. I love men. I love military.
So does Leroy.
Because you guys are manly. That's all I know.
Thank
And
you, sir. May I have
much
another?
respect.
Leroy loves
Much
men.
respect.
Yeah.
Huh?
So
I'm a man lover, baby.
So okay, let me just explain.
That's the problem. I feel men deserve to be respected, and so you should say yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am.
Yeah, you're damn
no,
right.
ma'am.
You're
That's
right.
the way I
Everyone,
grew
though.
up.
Not every man
Everyone.
deserves to be respected. Some men are dicks, Sharon.
No. I mean the opposite sex as well. You say yes, ma'am, sometimes as well.
Oh,
You don't
always
just
say
throw
yes,
it out,
ma'am.
and always it's something that should be reciprocated, right? It's
Right.
not. It's not one of these cases
Correct.
where if Mac's acting like an asshole, which is 9 times out of 10,
Easy.
that
I
we
can't even count. You don't even know what that means. Forget it. Go ahead. Fucking Navy guys.
that we
man.
just automatically throw out yes sir, no sir. You know, you can throw.
Listen,
throw
I knew
it
some
back at 'em.
shitbag cake eater officers for sure.
Yeah.
And I still had to
didn't
say yes,
know
sir.
With my daddy, he was chief, and it didn't roll. I mean, that's how I grew up. You always say
You had a
yes, sir, no,
salty
sir,
chief
yes,
as a
no,
dad,
ma'am.
and you're worried about if I'm being rude or not. You're shitting me. Come on.
Well, you always show respect to every human being,
Even you.
and that's the way we teach. That's the way
Yeah.
we teach.
All right.
If
You need
show
to,
them
okay.
respect-
This is where you need to let me say something. You have
Yes, sir.
nothing. First of all, I can't make you feel anyway. So if you're not sleeping at night because you're worried about what I'm thinking, that has more to do with you than me. Number one. Number two, in no way should.
You're correct, Matt. You're correct.
Let me go.
because
Let me finish.
I
Let me
didn't
finish.
want to make you feel that badly.
I don't
didn't
feel
want
bad.
you to
I don't
be
give a
upset
shit.
with me.
Sharon, I get off of
You
this
were
thing and you
mad
know what
at
I
me.
do? Will you let me finish? I get off this thing and you know what I do to Leroy? Hey man, I feel like I'm doing penance or I'm counting rosary. I say the same thing. It got a little hot tonight, man. I'm going to count 4 Hail Marys and 4 Heavenly Fathers. Apologize if I pissed anyone off. We'll start again tomorrow. Listen to me. Sharon, I'm not mad at you. When people send text through here, I don't assign humanality to it because there is no humanality in texting. When somebody comes
But
on the
my
phone,
voice now, and
that's right. And I feel bad for hurting you if I did. And I apologize. I don't care about anything you said. I don't assign it to you. It's text and you are literally a digital 1 and 0. When I get you on the phone, if I disparage or treat you with disrespect, then my God, I feel horrible. So judge me on how I'm treating you now versus how I treat you on a live show when I don't know who you are. Does that make sense?
yes, sir, and I see that, and that's why I wanted to call in because I wanted
Yes,
to
ma'am.
call in at night, but I'm so tired because I work all of the time.
So tired, boss.
But I wanted to apologize to you as well.
No.
Say, I'm so sorry if I made you feel badly or that I love your show. I would never do anything to hurt your show.
Oh, Sharon,
And
you don't need
I'm
to say
so
that.
appreciative of the fact that you guys speak the truth because it's what I've grown up with and what I know.
I'm
And I
so
feel
sorry
extremely
that people
connected
jumped your shit.
because of my
Sharon, I
military
remember more
background.
about this. People were jumping on your shit too, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't remember that.
Okay, that needs to stop. Listen, dummies, if somebody says something that I can take care of myself, number one, I don't need anyone fighting my fights. We need to stop. And Sharon, I jumped in and I said something to you in that thread, and I can't remember what I said. I do. I remember exactly what I said. I said, I expected more. Blah, blah. Oh my God, that's so stupid. Sharon, I'm not upset at you. You're a doll. You're a great person. Don't let the chat ever. It's a cesspool, okay? And it gets a little heavy in there sometimes. And in no way, shape, or form do I look down on you. And I accept your apology that you never needed to give. And if I hurt your feelings in any way, shape, or form, that was not my intent. I'll be more sensitive to that as best as I can. Is that fair?
Water
I'm
off a
just
duck
trying
stick.
to share information. And I do apologize also about Hayden because I'm getting so old that my one of my coworkers, her grandson was named Hayden. My mind was stuck then, so it was not being, because I think your children are precious. Because we're celebrating my first grandbaby's second birthday tomorrow, so I adore babies.
My kids are
Your
dicks.
Children are precious, and but I am so sorry about that because literally I was stuck in the mindset of thinking about Hayden because he got into a four-wheeler accident and he passed away. So when I hear Hayden, I'm always thinking about him.
Got it.
And that was
So sorry about that.
my daughter's best friends. And so I am so sorry. And I was trying to say that at the recital, which was lovely, by the way.
Well, it doesn't matter. I didn't take it. I didn't take it any way.
Sorry.
I didn't take it personal. Everything's good. You and I are good. Go to sleep tonight. Enjoy it. Tell your husband that everything's good. That you can. I can't believe you went to another man and said, "Honey, I'm just thinking about another man and I can't sleep." That's probably not a good thing. Not a good thing to do.
I was so upset. I'm like, he's so mad at me. Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna try that when I go to bed tonight.
You should. I'm thinking about, honey, I'm so upset. I'm thinking about Matt.
I don't feel like talking to my mother anymore. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Matt, I'm not your mama. I'm not your mom. I'm not trying to be your mama. I don't even know your mother.
Hold on. What hold on a second. I've got somebody on YouTube that's Michelle Lineberger. I got kicked off the show on Facebook. I can't get back on. Michelle, how do you, Michelle? Okay, see, this is great because we got people on YouTube. YouTube's growing again a little bit, so they've been going off all night on each other, and so I've just been reading it off to the side. But she goes, "I got kicked off the show on Facebook. I can't get back on." Michelle, what was your name on here? Then it says,
I remember her comments.
What did she say?
The same name. Well, I don't remember the comments. I just remember the name.
Okay, because it says, "What did you do and say, Michelle?" And then Jacqueline says, "Michelle, I guess the moderator doesn't believe in free speech." First of all, free speech is for the government, not to impose on us. I can ban anyone at any time if you're being an ass. Sorry. It says don't unfriend me. It says nothing about you. Okay. So if somebody's on here and they're just trying to troll, you can get banned. I don't remember banning Michelle. Michelle says, "Great. I'm not on Wi-Fi. Maybe that's why." No, Michelle, come on. Let's figure out what's going on. I don't ban people for no reason. I just ban trolls, like people who are annoying.
And again, I remember her comments showing up and then it just like disappeared. But there was nothing in her comments that I would have said, "Oh, wait, that's wrong," or "We need to get rid of that." I don't think that happened.
Well, I can tell you right now, I've got my list of people I've banned. And Sharon, stay on with us because this is fun. You can do this with us.
Yes.
And I'll tell you if I've banned you or not. I mean, it's getting to be a list. I mean, when you got 130,000, did I mention I have 130,000? Okay. So when you have that many people following, it can add up. Here, let's take a look. All right, I'm going to go through my list of banned people. It's loading. Holy shit. It's gotten to a point where it actually takes some time to load now. It's actually going, something isn't working. See, it's cannot compute. Facebook does not have the bandwidth to calculate this equation.
Danger.
I have not banned that many people. Yeah, free speech, it's funny. People think, like, they come on, there's this guy on Twitter. He posted 67 times in 5 minutes, and I banned him. And he goes, "You can't handle it, man. You can't handle my speech. You can't." No, you're a fucking asshole. You're an asshole.
Don't do that.
Yeah, you're just an idiot. And I have no desire.
Literally spamming the page.
Right. You're spamming the page, and you expect me to sit here and tolerate it. That's just not. Could it be weather? I am in hill country, and it's getting cold. Yes, depending upon how cold it is, decides whether I ban you or not. Michelle, I don't know. I'm trying to find you, but I can't. Does anyone in chat remember Michelle? Help me out here. I don't. Sharon, do you remember Michelle Leinberger?
I do, actually.
Okay, tell me about it, please, because I'm confused.
She actually seemed really, really nice.
She's really, really nice?
No, she actually, from the text that I was reading, she seemed really nice, if I remember correctly.
I just don't remember. And that makes me feel sad. Because, I usually remember who I ban. Like that one guy who was in here who said that, it was all about ego. I remember that guy, but I don't. Oh, Jacqueline says, I brought up the free speech as a joke because that's what everyone says that they can't get on Facebook. Chef Lady says, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I don't really care. No. Listen, folks. Okay.
How do you say
I'm going to get
meaningless?
Yeah. Listen, folks, here's what it comes down to. No matter what you read, some of you really sound like Democrats. No matter what you see, we're not all allowed to get along. We're not supposed to get along.
No.
On a long enough timeline, you will hate everybody. Trust me. If I stick you in an elevator, by day 3, you're going to seriously consider eating that person. Okay. My job is not to have you love me. My job is not to have you even like me. My job is to tell you the truth, which on a long enough timeline, you're going to dislike me because my truth, not my truth, because I hate that shit. The truth is going to offend you at some point. And you're either going to have to come to grips when you come into this channel that more than likely, I'm going to say something at some point that's going to piss you off. And you're either going to embrace that and compare all the times that I didn't piss you off and let that be absolved, or you're going to take it so personally that you're going to self-select and leave. Either way, I don't care. I don't. If you want to go, go. And if you expect me to do anything other than Rhett Butler this, and Scarlett, I don't give a damn. You're talking to the wrong guy. Because I just don't care. And it's not that I don't care about you, but if you have to leave, I'm not gonna be like, stop. Please don't go. That's up to you. You're an adult. You can leave, you can stay. It's up to you. But don't expect me to be like, oh, darling, please don't leave.
Please don't go.
Stay. Larry says I do care. No, I don't, Larry. I really don't.
Matt.
Yes, ma'am.
You really do.
No, I don't.
Yes, sir, you do.
Oh, my
I see
Lord.
that in you. I do.
Why?
Folks,
That's why
I can tell you with 100%
warmer,
certainty he doesn't.
sweet side of Matt. And
Did you hear Leroy?
He's in there.
Leroy knows me better than anyone else on this show. And he's like,
no, sir, I see it. And that's why I keep coming back, because I'm like, and oftentimes what I'm noticing is that that's the sad part, is that no one's actually having a dialogue any longer. It is via text and chat. So the interpretation becomes like everybody's already defensive. We can't help it.
Okay, let me say this. Hold on.
We're misinterpreting what a lot of people are trying to say, I feel, personally.
Of course we are. That's why we shouldn't chat, and you should call into the show.
Sir, let me say one more thing
Yes,
so
ma'am.
you guys will understand who I am. I am an older lady.
Yeah.
And it's getting hard getting older. So I've always had the utmost compassion for everyone. And that's just the type of person that I am. But the fact of the matter is unless you are actually able to convey via the tone of your voice to let people know, look, I'm an old school, old mom, old grandma. I love the old ways. I love just everybody being nice and kind and decent to one another and respectful. I cannot stand how much hatred there is right now. And everyone lying about everything, and you don't have a conscience. The conscience, it feels to me as if, has left everyone. It's like, what are you thinking? How can you treat another human being this way? And I don't want to be ugly to anyone. And I don't think anybody truly does, except they are. And I don't understand, why is everybody so hateful and mad and angry all the time?
Matt,
Leroy, go. Yeah, Leroy, you can. Sharon, listen. Okay, you said you were old and all this other stuff. We gave you your time. Hold on, let Leroy go. I don't think it's because you're old. I think you're a very sweet, loving human being. But Leroy's going to say something, and then I'm going to say something, and then I'm going to give you last word, and we're going to leave. Leroy, go.
Yes.
There's a new poll open. Please take the poll.
So, folks, let's just be perfectly clear about something. Matt does care, in terms of he wants you to be healthy. He wants you to be prosperous in life. But does he absolutely need every listener to adore? No. This is one of those shows that you come by not so that you can be coddled and hugged and told, yes, your perspective is the right perspective. No, this is a show that speaks to certain values, to a constitutionalist's point of view. This is one of those shows that you come to, right, when you want to get a different perspective and potentially some pushback on a particular way that you might be thinking, right? We want everyone to be healthy. We want everyone to be happy and alive and in a good frame of mind. And we want everyone to have, an amazing family life. But this is a political show. And so when we're talking about challenging points of view, we don't necessarily need everyone to fall in line. We want some banter back and forth. We want it to be, speak to your truth for sure, but you better goddamn well have some facts to back it up. That's the one thing that really just drives me nuts.
Holy shit. You have no idea what's going on YouTube. Jacqueline, what in the name of Christ are you talking about? What did I say about YouTube? I was like, oh my God, we've got people, they've been going on all night and they're talking. It's not a negative. I'm excited about YouTube. What? It says this, you said you wanted more people following on YouTube, and then I tell some friends to come and you get mad and tell them to leave. We were talking to each other, joking around. Great. That makes me happy. And then you said, I'm never saying another comment on your show. You don't deserve my time after what you just said about us on YouTube. If anything, you are starting off and need us more time than we need you. What are you talking about? Leroy, what did I say?
I don't know.
What the fuck did I say?
I didn't hear you say anything negative about it.
I just fucking said they're going off on YouTube and it's awesome. I don't know your friends. How am I supposed to know your friends? This is why I'm not compassionate. Because you fucking misunderstand everything I say. I'm just trying to get off and go see my kid. What the fuck did I do? This is why I have to remain just detached, because I'm not your fucking savior. I'm not a god. I'm a human being. I'm a man. Stop imbuing me with such powers. I don't deserve to be imbibed with what you're doing. I don't want it. I don't need it. I just want you to watch the show and laugh and joke around and realize that you're not the center of the universe.
Right.
I just want you to watch the show, and I interact with you because I like people. And Jacqueline, I like you. I think you're fucking awesome. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Folks, I'm stoked to have you here. What do you mean you're not going to make another comment? Why are you in this? Why? Let me tell you what I was going to say. Okay, and here it is. Is Matt a big meanie? I got 1 yes, I got 2 no's, and I got 2 I don't cares. That's the result of the poll so far. I'm going to say one thing, damn it, because I want to get this out. Antoinette is as opinionated as they come. She is so Republican, so far right that I sometimes have to like look to my left to see if I'm going to see her come around. Okay. Antoinette is a genius. She is super smart. She is super caring, and she's wicked freaking intelligent. However, she repeats herself too much. And if she's going to be on my show as a staple, she has got to stop repeating herself and going on for 10. There's only one. We can only afford one person who goes on for 10 minutes, and that's me. And that's the rule. And the reason why, and this is because it's my show. And there are times when Leroy goes, Matt, shut up. I need to say something. And I'm like, oh, it's yours. And he has that right because he's a co-owner of the show. He owns that. And he knows that we start punching tickets as far as money, he gets cuts. And Amy gets, and we've already talked about this. But right now, I'm the guy. But everyone who wants that time can have it. But you need to use it sparingly. And Antoinette knows that I want her on here longer than just once in a while. And she needs to know when to stop. But she gets cyclical and she gets caught. So what did I say at the end of the show after she left? I said, I love her. I adore her. I care about her. I'd walk in traffic for her. I'd take a bat to anyone who tried to hurt her. Those are the things I said. Everyone can rewind the show. And I know I said it because I remember what I say. And then I said, but she's got to stop repeating herself. She repeats herself too much. And if she's going to be on the show, she needs to take that feedback and grow. So what did she do? She goes on Twitter. And instead of saying, I'm leaving, I'm packing my bag, you son of a bitch. How dare you say that about me? I'm a sensitive woman. I'm leaving you. What did she say? She goes, I heard you loud and clear. Thank you. And I love you.
Oh, see,
folks,
see,
There you
feedback,
go.
feedback's a gift.
Feedback
and
is
you
an
know what?
important thing.
It's either a gift or okay. Let me rephrase it. Feedback is actually a bomb. Feedback is a bomb, and you have a choice. You can either let it go off inside you and blow you apart and ruin you, or you can diffuse it and make the parts out of something else.
Yes,
that's your choice. That's my quote. That is a Jordan Peterson quote. Stamp it, stick it. That's mine. But I don't take feedback that's stupid. And Sharon gave me feedback that said, you know, you need to listen to people. And I'm like, I disagree with your feedback. Here's why. And that's okay. But I do that rarely.
you know,
most of the time when someone tells me something, I listen. Go ahead, Leroy.
You know, there's something that gets tossed around in academia a lot, especially when you're writing papers, white papers or intelligence papers or any sort of high-end paper that requires a logical breakdown. And it's called a peer review. And that's exactly what this is. During the process of a peer review, you hand your paper off to someone who is your academic peer, your equivalent, and you say, do me a favor, read this, tear it up if you need to, but give me the feedback from it so that I can make it better.
That's right.
And that's exactly what we're talking about.
That's it.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Leroy has said, like, okay, Leroy came on tonight and we were late and I'm busy and we talk pre-show because he comes on, he goes, and I'm just like, man, fuck. And all he hears is this.
Yeah.
As I'm in the fucking Matrix, right? And I've got 7 windows open and I'm like fucking Neo, right? And I'm like Mr. Smith, block, fucking, and I'm just like this. and typing. And I go, hey, man, as I'm blocking, fighting, punching, wah. And I'm like, Leroy, if you're going to come on the fucking show, you need to give me notice because my keyframes are all out of fucking whack and I don't have any overlays for you. So please, the next time you come on, give me heads up. And he's like, I thought my times were Monday, Wednesday, and Friday all week, but okay, I'll do that. And I'm like, Leroy, there's times you've canceled and I need to know. And he's like, okay.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Matt, why do you hate me? Why are you being so mean to me?
You know, butthurt about it. You just fucking, all right, move on. Let's go.
Matt, are we still going to cuddle after this? Why do you hate me? Will you cut my balls when we're done? Will you still cuddle? Will you still respect me in the morning?
It's all part of the plan.
Come on, people. My job is I'm not your dad. I'm not your husband. I'm not your brother. I'm not your roommate. I'm not your psychiatrist. I'm not your bartender. I'm a talk show host who is a father who is already raising 2 children. I don't need any more. If you depend on me for you to feel whole, then our relationship needs to have parameters and we need to redefine each other's relationship. Okay? We're not married. I'm a talk show host who barely does that well. Okay? I care about you. But if you quit and you leave and you're like, I gotta go, I'm gonna be like, okay. Okay. Bye. Because you need to. You just said, I gotta go. I gotta get away from you, Matt. Okay, because there's people out there who have bought $300 worth of clothing from me and said, you owe me. You owe me your time. I own you now because I gave you money. And you know what I said? I'm refunding your money and I'm sending your shit back and you can go play hide and go fuck yourself.
Lee Grant.
I've had people who said, I sent you $500 worth of Sensi that you never asked me for, and I own you now.
What the fuck does that matter?
And I've said, I'll write you a check and go play hide and go fuck yourself. Folks, I'm not for sale. I don't beg for money on this show. I give you the links to my... I don't work for frickin' Minuteman Coffee. I don't work for frickin' Percival Flag. I'm helping them because I care about them. I don't work for the card game, the offensive card game guy. I don't work for the t-shirt guy. I don't work for the people who've called in and just want to pitch their products. I don't take money for that. I do this because I enjoy it. And the day that it becomes boring or too much, I will quit. And I'll pop smoke and I'll fucking Charlie Mike to something else. And then I'll call Leroy and be like, Lima Charlie, buddy. And he's like, Lima Charlie, I hear you. Let's go. And we're going to pop smoke and we're gone. And we won't be like, ladies and gentlemen, this is our parting episode. We have George Michael performing. And then we're going to sit down and read some Maya Angelou. And we're going to rub oil all over our bodies. And we're going to connect before we go into the sunset and quit. No, we're just going to be like, we're popping smoke. Fuck this. This is boring. We're not doing it anymore. Okay? All right. Sharon, was that more than you asked for tonight?
I love it, Matt.
Got your message.
You guys
Here.
are familiar to me because you remind me of my brothers. Like I said, they're deceased now. But I think you're both fantastic, and I'm so grateful and appreciative for what you've done, for your voices.
Thank you.
For everything that you say, everything that you do, the message that you try to get out. To be, you're being fair about everything, and I truly appreciate it. You know, it's not one-sided. I just don't want you guys to think that, I know, like I said, with the texting and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, it's tough.
You can't really convey who you are without actually hearing a person's voice. So you don't really know what they're trying to convey or what they're trying to teach. And I'm a teacher. I teach. That's what I do. I teach.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And I know I get shut down, and there's a reason. And I'm, literally rambunctious like you guys. Like, why am I being shut down? I'm trying to tell you the truth about what I know. But, limitations have been set. We all understand that.
You got on the phone. That's all that matters. You got on the phone. And folks, Antoinette's not leaving. It was actually a compliment to her where she says, got your message, Matt, and agreed. I've gotten too used to arguing with brick walls. I find myself repetitively annoying. Plus, I was coming home from the annual Christmas party, so I was buzzing. I'll see you in a while, my friend. Blessings on your beautiful family. Catch you later. She didn't say she loved me, but she gave me a smiley face with 2 hearts, and I figured that was I love you. Either way, that was my interpretation of it. She's not leaving. She loved the fact that I told the truth and I was complimentary. But see, people only listen to the negative and people fixate on the negative. And just like, which is really sad, and it bums me out that Jacqueline's leaving because she usually challenges me. I like her a lot. I think she's smart, and she's not going to come around anymore because she only listened to the negative versus listening to the positive. That I'm so happy that YouTube is firing off. I think it's great. People, we've got to stop being so fucking sensitive. In the hunter-gatherer sense, none of this matters.
Absolutely.
None of this matters.
Absolutely.
Leroy, I'm giving you a final 30, and then I'm going to hand it to Sharon, and then we're freaking Charlie Mike.
Yeah, sounds good, brother. It was about a year and a half ago when Matt and I, when I first started kind of reaching out to Matt, and it was because as I was watching his show, I was literally, when he would say something, I had already thought it in my head, and kind of, how everyone has that inner voice that you speak. And so, I knew there was already something there because of the commonalities between our two backgrounds. Given what we do, there's that too. We are probably equally in size. But that being said, yeah, there's a lot that goes along with how to deal with people, right? And a lot of times people just want to be, kind of coddled and this kind of thing. And I'm all for challenging people. I'm all for that peer review. I'm all for that feedback, because that's how you grow as a person. I don't want to be stagnant. I want to grow. I want to do things that I know that other people struggle with. Right? I want to tackle my fears in life. I want to be a better person. I want to be a better dad, a better husband. I want to do all of those things. But in order to do all that, you have to have feedback. So please continue to let us know if we suck at something or if we're awesome at something. It's cool. But that being said, that was my 30. Matt?
Well, listen, and there's some terms that we use together. And I just got a question. They're like, what the fuck does Oscar Mike mean? What does Lima Charlie mean? What does Bravo Zulu mean? Okay, so we're going to go over it quickly. This is going to be my 1 minute. Bravo Zulu, give it to him, Leroy.
Well done. Well done.
Well done. Just Bravo Zulu. Okay. Oscar Mike.
I remember that one.
Oh, Charlie Mike. Sorry.
Still evading. It's evading me. No.
Okay. So Oscar Mike is on mission. So we're Oscar Mike, which means we're on mission. We're moving to next phase. It's not mission complete. It just means we're moving towards target. So when I say Oscar Mike, it means like, I'm done. I'm going to go move into father mode. Okay. Lima Charlie is what?
Loud and clear.
We can hear you. Lima Charlie. Pretty simple. Pop smoke means we're done. We're popping smoke. We want the helo. We want exfil. We're fucking out of here. We're popping smoke. What else am I missing?
RTB. Return to base. Yeah.
Return to base. That's very much Oscar Mike. What else? FOB. We talk about FOB. Forward operating base.
Yep.
Okay. JIC, Joint Intelligence Center. SCIF. This one's interesting. You can tell.
Yeah, you can say it.
No, go ahead.
Secret compartmentalized information facility. It's where they process
secure
all the things that.
Secure. Not secret. Secure. Okay.
It's where they process all of the national secrets.
That's right. Snafu, situation normal, all fucked up.
Fubar.
Fubar, fucked up beyond all recognition. So MREs, meal ready to eat. So PX, I mean commissary. So we can go on all day long, but usually when we do, you know, phonetic alphabet, it's basically saying signing it off, or, you know, we'll say to Navy people, Bravo Zulu. By the way, also 3 other things. There is a difference between hoot-rah and hoo-yah and hoot-rah. Okay, so there's a difference. Hoorah is Leroy.
Oh,
Hoorah.
That's
Army.
Marines?
Army.
Marines and Navy.
No, Navy's hoo-yah. Navy's
Hoo-yah.
hoo-yah.
Oh, hoo-yah.
We're hoo-yah. And then rah is fucking Marine Corps. And I can't even do it because hoorah is Army, but they're hoorah. Hoorah. I can't even fucking do it. It's so obnoxious. I can't. Fucking Marines. They like go and eat crayons, and it helps their vocal cords to do it. Like it's like you got to gulp. Hoorah. That's it. Something like that. I can't do that shit. That's Marine Corps. So there's different, it's just, you'll learn all this stuff, right? And then when you, real quick, when you see Marine Lieutenant coming by, it's freaking, I mean, it's 45 and it's sharp and finger freaking on the brim, pop, and then you come down. Every Marine, pop, and then you come down, all right? Navy, same thing. Snap, pop, and you give it a little, it's just a little, I really like you, and then you bring it down. Yeah. And pop, come down. Now, Army, you're kind of like, that's Army. Air Force.
You're
just kind of like
on the golf course, right?
You're just basically like you just brush it across your brim and fuck. It's Air Force.
Sometimes they do it with their left hand, you know.
Right.
It's
basically the Benny Hill. Aye, drill sergeant. United States Air Force reporting for duty. That's how you do it. Okay. Steven says, try it from the gut. See, I will admit, I can't do Marine Corps. I can't do it, dude. I've tried because I was starboard watch. I was starboard watch in boot. I was also honor man in boot camp. So I would have to do starboard watch, you know, I can't do that shit, dude. I don't know. I was just like, fuck. My dad played Marine. I had no desire. Folks, Sharon is going to give her 1 minute, and then we're going to go, and we are going to pop smoke. Sharon, go ahead.
I'm going to go quickly. This just all takes me back, literally, with my family, with my brothers. You guys remind me of my brothers and my daddy. I was engaged to a Navy SEAL for 4 years through college when I was going through nursing. He even tracked me down, even married my husband, and found my child working at Sonic to get to my home after 20 years. And he's intelligent, and I was even there in San Diego when he got his trident, and the whole kit and caboodle. It was kind of interesting, the torture methods that are used to wrap him up in duct tape and flip him upside down. But anyway, you guys are so familiar to me that I need you to know, both of you, I adore you. So please don't ever underestimate how much I adore you. And my brothers are gone now, so I consider you guys my brothers. But what I want you guys to do, if you don't mind, because I can be extremely tough, because I have had a lot of crap handed to me in my lifetime as well, just like everybody else. No crying game over here. But please just understand, I'm a different person. I do have the utmost compassion for people, and that's just who I am. I don't want to be a hard ass, because I don't think that there's enough compassion left for people in the world, to be honest with you. Everybody's so mean, and it's hateful. I mean, today I was picking up my grandson's cake, which normally I would make the cake, but this is a special cake. It's a John Deere cake because he's 2 and he loves tractors. This little lady came in today. She was like in her 80s, and she had a new purse. And she was like, please forgive me. I don't understand this purse yet because I was rubbed at gunpoint 2 days ago in Memphis
Oh,
Oh my
outside of
God.
Kohl's, which me and my husband were just there. And she said, this gentleman was coming by me, and she said, I thought he just wanted to slip past me, but then he pulled out a gun and said, give me your purse. And then if you watch the Memphis news, and this is a daily occurrence, and it's so heartbreaking for me. She said, and she was a beautiful older lady. I mean, just gorgeous. And she's so grateful to be alive. She said, I just handed him my purse. And she said, the TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, called me to say, because there was a shootout with an older gentleman that was with a young guy that robbed her, had just been shot and killed, but he had her driver's license in his wallet. And she said,
Holy shit.
I shouldn't be carrying a purse right now. I am going to start recommending that everybody just, if you have to have a card on your person, just put it in your back pocket, something. She said, but I
How about you carry a gun?
for that.
You're in Tennessee.
Sir?
Why aren't you carrying a gun?
fucking everyone in Tennessee has a gun, right? You would think.
No, I have guns. My husband, I was born and raised in Tennessee, and I grew up military, so I was the best shot in my whole freaking family.
Okay.
They all taught me. My brother was in Vietnam. He was point man in Vietnam.
Oh God,
they
what
were
a horrible
in
job.
Cambodia. Yeah, and he, you remember Trini Lopez, the singer, back
I
in
don't.
the day.
Let's say we do.
You have to look it up. His son was the second man to my brother Richard, and they were like a 4-star general came down to court-martial him because my mother got a letter, and I have the letter, that she was pregnant with me in 1970, stating, son, you're not supposed to be in Cambodia. The President Nixon is saying you guys aren't there, but they clearly were there, and she knew it. And somehow the letter got through. He started marching his troops back out of Cambodia, and they were going to be court-martialed. And they were like, no, you're not taking Rose, or it's our last name, anywhere. You're not taking him anywhere. And it literally has been a lot. But, yes, we have guns. My husband is from Pennsylvania, and he makes me a nervous wreck because we've gone to the shooting range, and he's a nervous wreck with the gun. He doesn't know how to use the gun because they didn't ever master handling or cleaning or anything with the gun. And I'm like, screw it. If we die, we die. God's gonna.
All right. Well, that's ridiculous. That is the longest answer to why aren't you carrying a gun? But at least I know now you need to carry a gun, and especially in any major city. I'm sorry, you got to, and you know how to use it. So you teach him. You be the man in the relationship, and you teach him how to use the firearm because because that's the way it is. Really quick, and then I'm done.
Though.
I got to cut bait. Listen, I hope Jacqueline doesn't leave. If you're her friends, please go talk to her. Extend a box of tissue. I have no idea why she's mad at me. I don't get it, but whatever. She's gone, and that's the way it is. Folks, I appreciate you. I thank you for being on. We are going to definitely leave at this point. Leroy, thanks for being on. Sharon, you can call back anytime. You were fantastic. Yeah, Leroy.
Thank you, honey. And you go take care of that baby boy.
I am. He's fine, by the way. He told me to stay home. He's coming in right now, actually. Hold on.
He's feeling better?
Yeah, no, he's not. I'm going to go say goodbye. Good night, everybody. I love you. I got to go talk to my kid.
Good night, you guys.
Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow, and see you soon.
You're
Bye.
fantastic. Good night.
Thank you. You are too. Talk to everybody. Bye.